Is not being picked
There's
up.
two of me. There's
Say
two of
something.
me.
Say something.
Hey. Hey, what's up?
There we go. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. Should have known my mic wasn't working. Right, we're going to play an intro. It won't say the right title. It won't say the right one because I've not had a chance to do anything. You'll see in a minute. I know even the title's not wrong, but just, just so you hear our theme for a moment. Here you are. Get excited. Do a dance. Do a dance. We're going to have in this episode is me crying. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Crispy, how do you feel about the prospect of us having another Power of the Doctor live episode on our hands?
I forgot how tired I was then.
Oh mate, you're a trooper. But there's already, just to give you a realization, there are 175 people here already, fella.
Oh, what?
Welcome,
oh my
everyone.
Goodness. Hi everyone.
So,
how are we?
I hope you're all doing well. Just to give you a very brief heads up, Crispy has just woken up and watched the episode, and I got out of the cinema, came back, my mum wants to watch it again, and I agree with her, I thought I'll watch it again. So we've literally just finished it, so I've not set anything up for the episode. It won't take me 10 minutes to do, but we're just going to chat, be a bit informal for a minute, and then we'll get properly into the episode in a moment. So, Crispy, tell everyone, how are you doing, good sir, while I do the border first off?
I'm good. I'm really, really good. Like yesterday, so for the whole of the last 8 weeks, I've had Doctor Who on a Saturday night, which is new for me. That's very, very new for me. And then Doctor Who was not on Saturday night for me. It was at like 4 a.m. This morning. Well, I was gonna get up at like 5-ish, but then I woke up at 4 and was like, "Is the episode out?" And it was.
See, he was just itching for Who. That's how big of a fan he is. This is our boy.
So. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I have a massive headache, but
oh, mate.
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I'll try not to be too loud. I promise.
Oh, okay. Thanks, buddy.
I know, I'm the best,
Thanks, man.
aren't I? I'm just the best. Okay.
How are you going, Troy?
I'm not okay. I'm so not okay. We're going to get into this probably in the episode, but, like, I just... Shooty Gatwa was liked an Instagram post I made, by the way.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, I did a post earlier. Again, we will get into it later, but I had a slight suspicion what happened was going to happen. And I thought I want to do a little post anyway because like I never properly shared the photos of me with Shooty and Millie from that dreadful Showmasters convention. Mainly because at the time I didn't want to promote the con. I was like, I don't want to play into that. They were in a post that I did like as an overall 60th anniversary thing. Let me just go over here and replace this. They were in a post for that, but like hadn't had a proper one, and I went, I really should do one for them. So I thought today's a good day to do it. And then my mum said, just literally while I was making a drink before we started rewatching it, she just went, Shooty Gat was like your post. And I was like, nah, you're taking the mic, and just opened it, and there it was, big like from Shooty himself. So that was very exciting.
That's so cool. Oh, that's awesome.
Exciting. Okay, so we've got that. We need the bingo card, which it seems like. Okay, if I pop that in here. All I gotta do is do this and then render the patron calls. I assume you've not had any chance to look at any of the actual call-ins, I'm guessing, mate. Have you had a chance to have a look at any of them?
At what?
the call-ins on SpeakPipe? I'm assuming not, but I was just asking.
Troy.
I figured. No, I figured that would be the answer. I figured it would be, but I thought I'd just check.
I don't have time to do admin.
Listen, mate. Sometimes I think you lie in a cold sweat thinking I've got to listen to callers. I think that's what you do. I think that's what you do. Okay, so we've got the bingo card there ready to be edited later. Okay.
We are so close to being out of space on our hotline.
Are we actually?
Account.
Oh, sugar.
Yeah.
Are we actually? Let me see. How bad is it?
Yeah.
What's the damage?
I could delete a few from like last week.
You can get rid of quite a few at this point. Oh wow, yeah, we are near max out. I think if you go onto like the back page, if it lets you do that, you can then like tick everyone and delete them. But I don't know if that'll delete everyone, so it might be a bit risky. So yeah, you can do that. That's a point actually, everyone. If you do want to call in, if you are not already aware of how to do it, let me get the link. I know I've got it somewhere here. Where is it? Voicemail page. Here we go. Please obviously refrain from using bad language. We don't swear on here. I'd appreciate if you don't either. And also try to keep calls to 30 seconds. We're probably going to get through a lot today. But we want to make sure that, calls are short and to the point. We will focus on the shorter ones. Please be aware. But if you want to go and call in now while we're getting set up, now's a good time to do it. Because once we start recording, we probably won't be refreshing the page very much. So just be aware that you've got time to send it in. And in the meantime, there's 195 of you and only 30 likes. Can we bump the likes up? Drop a like if you like Doctor Who. There you go, mate. They're all going to like it now. They're all going to like it.
Drop a like if you like Doctor Who.
We're going to get so many likes, mate. We're going to get so many likes. I can't wait. Okay, so now all I need to do is open Sony Vegas and hope that it doesn't crash the entire stream. You get an insight into how I do things for the patron callers now. They send it direct in Discord. I download them, put them into Vegas. I have to render them as a different file type, run them through the levelator, and then upload them to Riverside. So much effort. And all because they give us money. Effort. I mean, does that mean anything? Is it worthwhile? It is. Thank you. We appreciate it. Oh, bugger. Some of these are not named after the people who sent them in, so I don't know whose is whose. One is in German. Right. Who is that? I think that is. What is Krieslauf? That sounds like a German word to me. I don't know. Do you know what that means, Crispy?
Krieslauf?
Okay, that's Grace's call, is Krieslauf. That's Grace's. I've just checked it up. There's one that's called Everyone Must Go, which is... Okay, that's 6s and 7s. Cool. So I can just get that one done. All I've got to do is figure out the names, get it up, and we can get started. We've got to try and think of an intro gag for this one, fella. I'm not.
I've got something.
Fella, what time is it for you right now? How are you thinking of intro gags? How are you doing?
It's 7 a.m. We usually record now, but I usually haven't been
on a Sunday though.
3 hours beforehand on a Sunday.
Mate, I'll put reality.
It's gonna be a big day. It's gonna be a big day.
I'll call it that. I'll call each one reality, and it should make it easier in Riverside to know whose is whose. Hello, by the way, if you are new to this podcast and you're watching this stream, that guy over there is Crispy Pro. He's a famous Doctor Who YouTuber.
Hi.
You should watch his content. I'm not.
Yeah, we usually, I feel like people have joined this stream being like, what are they going to talk about the episode? Yeah, what we usually do at the start of these live streams is we like just chit chat for a second, get everything set up, and then get going.
Yes.
So what you're listening to now will
it's
not
admin.
be in the final finished Spotify recording. But hey everyone in the chat, I hope you're doing well. Can we get some bennies in the chat?
Oh,
just
does
to
it
see
have
if
to
the
be
chat's
bennies?
working.
Can we get some billies in the chat?
Bennies?
Can we get
some billies and bennies? Get some billies and bennies in the chat, please.
Dude, my theatre erupted.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, we can get into it.
We can, and we will. We will. Okay, I have got all 4 sound files. All I got to do is levelate them, upload them, and we're good. And levelating takes 2 seconds on files this small, so we will be sorted, my boy. I will also just delete a few things off my desktop to make sure things run a little smoother, because we got to make sure things are smooth like butter,
Yeah.
You like smooth butter, mate?
Like that BTS song.
Is that a BTS song?
Smooth like butter.
Listen to him. Listen to this guy. Oh. Alright. We got Duggadoos in the chat. Oh, we might have a
we got so many Duggadoos in the chat. Can we get some Duggadoos in the chat, please?
I'm wearing a Shooty t-shirt. I've got the necklace on from the cosplay. I was prepared. Oh. There's a non-zero chance this is gonna be the first podcast episode I actually cry on. I'm not in control of my emotions right now. I've got to be real with you. I'm just not. Okay, there we go. We've got them all levelated. Let's upload them, and we are good to go, good sir.
Thank you, Simon, for the donation, and thank you, Nausea, for the donation as well.
That's how I'm feeling right now.
Haven't even started the show yet, but thank you.
Yeah, Simon Dallas. Is that Dallas Payday? Like the video game Payday?
Payas Deus.
Payas Deus, yeah. Crispy's favorite game. Oh, right. Okay, they're all uploading now. 6s and 7s call is uploaded. Got 3 more there. Grace is uploaded. 1 more. 2 more, sorry. Come on, SpeakPipe. I love Twitter chaos. Oh, I logged onto Twitter for a little bit and saw so many people saying they didn't like the episode, and immediately went, okay, I don't care, and closed Twitter. Because that's what you should do, folks. When people disagree with you, disconnect from the world. That's not real advice. Don't take that as real advice.
I don't know.
No, but disconnect from hate. That'd be nice, but disconnecting from other people's opinions, maybe pushing it. All right, they're all there. They're all uploaded. So we, as far as I know, are all good to go. So are you ready, good sir?
Ooh, yeah, I'm ready.
I'm just going to check and make sure you can hear it. I'll just play one of the random patron callers. Can you hear this, good sir?
All right, so I've not been able to...
Cool. All right, so we're good.
Yep.
Would you mind being SpeakPipe man? Would you mind doing the screen share for that and being in charge of the SpeakPipe calls?
Can I do that?
Yes, you should be able to. You can share your screen if you're not the host, right? If you're not, I'll do it, but it just means it's one less thing.
This must be so, like, 200 people are watching us just do admin.
We're literally about to start, folks. We're about to start. But we can't play the calls if we don't have the screen share ready. So
have we lost everyone?
No, they love us. They love us. They're here to just... They're going to place bets as to whether I'm going to cry.
How many do we have right now?
We have 222. Ironically, 2 is my lucky number. So it's my lucky number 3 times. There you go.
Okay, yep, we're on. Let's go.
Okay, just need to switch you over there.
We'll just expose some emails, that's fine.
Well, hopefully no bad ones. Hopefully no bad ones. Whoops, sorry. Right, okay. Right, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Okay, everyone ready to go? You all ready for some live Docky Who podcasting?
Yeah, let's do it.
The recording button has been pressed. Also, just to check, how do we sound? Me versus Crispy. Do we sound okay? We all good? Any audio levels?
Bingle, bongle, dingle, dangle, yickety do, yickety da.
It seems like I've turned myself down versus you from previous episodes. I'm 5 decibels lower than you, so hopefully that's enough.
Okay, we're good to go. We're fine.
Okay, let's do it. Crispy, give us your intro gag. You make me cry and I'm leaving this call.
Okay. Gosh, don't you think it was funny when David Tennant had his time on Doctor Who, and then they brought him back in 2013 for the Day of the Doctor, and they're like, oh gosh, he can't leave the show alone. And then he came back as the 14th Doctor? My goodness, I can't believe an actor would, have a prominent role in the late 2000s in Doctor Who, and then come back for Day of the Doctor, and then become a doctor themselves. Gosh, that is crazy. If I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have 2 nickels.
The best bit is anyone on video was watching the gears turn in my head as you said that. Like, where is he going with this? This isn't Jodie related. Oh, Miss Piper. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoilers, This is going to be a big one. Hello and welcome everyone as we talk about the reality war, the final episode, not only of Season 2, but deep breath, of Shooty Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. But before we get into it, as per usual, roll the intro.
Yeah,
somber.
Nice.
I'm not cheering on the intro. It's somber, mate.
Hot stuff.
Somber. Now for the infamous question. Who's on intro duty?
I've got no clue, man.
I think it's me.
We are not selling ourselves well at all.
I'm pretty sure
it
I'm
should be you.
On intro
this feels like a you episode.
Yeah. Just feel like he wasn't here long enough. Like, that's a great message from someone actually called Just. It's very on brand.
Just.
We'll get into that because when I had a lot to talk about on the drive home from the cinema. We ready? Is it me?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just said it was.
Right, okay, let's just do this. I'm going to play it out on my phone. The most recent song on my phone is Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini from Dot and
Dude.
Bubble. My mum's been
Dude.
like looking up songs from the episodes, and at one point was looking up the right version of that. So that is the most recently played thing. I'm not hitting play on that. Right, here we go. Episode 159, Wish World with Mr. Tharies. The intro was...
It was me.
It was you, so I am in
up.
charge. Let's do this. Let's do this, folks. So, if you are new to the podcast, here's how this is going to work. We're going to do an intro. We're going to talk about the episode for a bit. At different times, we're probably going to have reading the live chat. Then we're going to get into a lot of callers. And then if you're not aware, we have Patreon subscribers where once a month on the live episodes, we play special calls from them where they don't have to keep to a 30-second time limit. They can just send in calls about different stuff. But because it's a live episode, normally it's just those callers for the episode. But this is a big one, so we want everyone to get their calls in. So here we go. Let's get ready going. You ready, Crispy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. My name is Troy, his name is Crispy, and we are the hotline that accepts your calls from anywhere in time and space. And we actually are doing it alone. I feel like every time I've introduced it this season, I've said we're not doing it alone, but this time we are. And I wish I wasn't alone right now, Crispy, because I need a hug, if you can't tell from my somber tone of voice.
Sorry, mate. What's
This
happened?
is... Crispy sent me the thumbnail for this live stream, which if you're on audio platforms, you should be able to see. It's the same everywhere when you're listening on Tuesday. But he sent me this, and I was like, this better not be an omen. You better not be willing this into existence. And you said, and I quote, it was something along the lines of, I really don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think he's going to go. And I was like, if he does, I'm going to be distraught. Hey everyone, so we just watched The Reality War. And we're live right now on YouTube let's see how many people. Let's check the number now. 249 people. We have 81 likes.
Moses.
Can we get 100 likes right now? Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah,
Such power.
we've got a lot to talk about. Oh, and subscribe on YouTube if you're enjoying it, and on audio platforms, make sure you follow, rate us 5 stars, all that stuff.
Good.
This is going to be a big
Troy.
one because not only have we got the end of a season, we've got the end of some plot arcs that have lasted 2 seasons. We've got a shock twist at the end. We've got the departure of who has become one of my favourite doctors, so I'm not happy about that. So we've got a lot to discuss. Should we actually set out, because there was a teaser for the war between the land and the sea. Are we just going to leave that for a different episode? Because I feel like we probably
Yeah, that
should.
could be a different. That could
Cool.
be a different episode.
Can we get just a very quick? Do you think it looks cool or not? I think it looks good.
I think it looks cool.
Yeah, there you go. So
I think it
there's our
looks
takes
cool.
on
I'm
that. Thank you for
excited.
watching for that. But we literally have got so much to say about the reality war. So let's keep to the normal formula, Crispy. You know how we start these all off, and we got to start with the same thing. Can you, with the way your brain is right now, you who is awake at 7 a.m., who got up even earlier to watch this episode because it wasn't available early like every other one, have
4
you
a.m.
got 4 a.m.? Can we just give a round of applause? Where's the soundboard? I have the soundboard. Where's clapping? I needed this to be ready sooner. There we go. Round of applause for Crispy for being a trooper, for getting up this early for the podcast. He deserves it. Everyone, round of applause. Crispy, if your brain is switched on enough, you've thought about it enough to give a score, can you give a score for the reality war out of 10?
I don't know if I can, Troy.
Okay, that's fair.
I am frazzled. Like that was a lot.
It was.
That was a lot.
It was.
Yeah, I mean that it was like a fever dream. It was an absolute fever dream getting up that early, being this excited, and that much happening in an episode. Like there is so much in this episode. Like a ridiculous. I don't even know where to begin. But yeah, we usually do give a rating out of 10. Troy, I don't know.
Should we come back to it and have it as a bit at the end of the episode where maybe you've thought about it after our discussions?
You're gonna sway me.
Well, have you seen my score?
Yeah, of course I've seen. I could have guessed it from the get-go.
Yeah.
Troy, I could have guessed it without Twitter's help.
I've got to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely adored this episode, which is interesting because Twitter have been very divisive over it. Quite a few people replied to my tweet being like, "I'm so glad I'm not the only one." But right now, I'm on a firm 10. I absolutely adored it.
It's crazy.
I
You think this is a
absolutely adored
perfect
it.
episode
And
of
for context, for context, it's been a funny old time. My mum and I have rewatched the entire Shooty Gatwa era in the last few days, other than Joy to the World, which became very ironic that we skipped that one. We were like, oh, we don't need to watch that one. We'll focus on season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, skipped Story in the Engine. We had to cut it based on the time to get to the cinema. And I was like, we've rewatched that a few times. We can leave that one out. So rewatching them all, I did a thread on Twitter. You can see all my scores, but I've been very positive for a lot of them, including you'll be throwing a party. 73 yards. My thoughts changed completely on that.
Happy.
I love it so much more now on rewatch. But just generally rewatching the era and seeing a lot of it connecting together and building up, I've enjoyed it so much more. Genuinely. Obviously, Troy's giving it a 10. Listen. I'm nothing if not predictable. Okay. But honestly, in the cinema for it, like with the first 10 minutes, I was like, this is good. But in my head, I was thinking, Empire of Death. Don't let me down in Acts 2. Don't let me down in Acts 2. No spoons. And it just kept going. And at no point did I go, this sucks. I was just like, this is good. This is good. And it's kind of that situation where, like, objectively, is it a perfect episode? Probably not. Probably plot holes people have found that I've not realized yet, or all that stuff. And I also do think a lot of it, will hinge on how much you care about Poppy. I definitely think if you're not a Space Babies enjoyer or a Poppy enjoyer, you're going to find it harder to link on, especially with that being the cause of the 15th Doctor's demise. But for me, I felt like it all wrapped up very nicely. It tied up in ways I never expected, especially with Joy to the World. So
yeah, crazy.
I couldn't believe that. I could not believe how well they tied it up. And I said everyone was crazy for thinking Anita would come back. Yeah, I was like, there's no way they knew she'd be a beloved character. There's no way they saw that coming. She's not coming back. Within 60 seconds at the finale, oh, here you go, I'm here to save you from certain doom. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Troy, there is so much that I love about this episode, but there is so much that irks me about this episode that
okay.
I don't know where to judge this.
So can I start with the positive?
Now, yeah. Do you want to start with the positive, or me start with the positive?
I'll start with the positive because I've got one thing that comes to mind immediately, and it's one thing that I think is important for big finales like this. I feel like at some point, and you can maybe prove me wrong, but I feel like every key character had something to do. Every key character had a role to play or a thing to do, and some were stronger than others.
Define key.
Well, a notable point in the plot. I mean, even Susan Triad built the Zero Room, which was key to trying to keep Poppy alive. Kate and Colonel Ibrahim taking control of Unit at the tower and having the fight with the Bone Beasts. Ruby being the reason that Poppy's remembered and tying it back to the church on Ruby Road. Like, there were so many different moving parts that I felt worked really well together. I think Belinda probably had the least to do, and that's probably going to be a point a lot of people have raised up. But I did quite like the way she was, like, very kind of protective of Poppy and trying to keep her alive and everything, but I do think in terms of companions, she didn't have as much to do. So if you were, like, asking me to order who had the most, a lot of it. She'd be at the bottom. But
Rose Noble did nothing. Again,
well, to be fair, yeah. Let's be honest here. Rose Noble, actually, that's a fair point. Rose Noble does tend to just kind of show up and just stand there. She did that in Empire of Death, to be fair. They showed up, got de-dusted, and then stood on a balcony.
I understand why, but then I don't understand why, because they like kind of made the point that in Conrad's world, he doesn't consider trans people or stuff like that. So
which was like, good point. Hadn't even thought about that, and then as soon as she I was like, that's a good way to tie it in.
If they're gonna.
But yeah, she didn't have... Okay, fair.
They bring Yasmin Finney back for that, to make that point, be like, wow, Conrad's really not a nice guy. And then they redeem him?
So, right. Ooh. So yeah, I said I didn't want Conrad to be a redeemable villain. I don't think he was a redeemable villain. I don't think he was redeemed in that way. Like, Ruby wished for him to be a different person. That's not him realizing his own mistakes. That's him literally being changed at his very core to be something he never was before. It's like the good timeline of Conrad where he never even became a bad person, which I think is better than him having that moment where he's aiming his gun at Ruby. And I honestly thought she was going to talk him down and him go, I was so wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm glad they didn't do that, because like I said, I don't think I'd have bought into that. I think I'd have been like, that's a bit too convenient for me. So I like the alternative that she just went, I wish that you were happy, and that none of this had gone that way.
Yeah. It was like, I didn't expect for them to play into the... We're starting with Conrad, which is funny. There's so many other things we could talk about other than Conrad.
Yeah, there is.
But what I find interesting was that the fact that they played into, like, Ruby being like, oh, was she just saying this? Where she was like, oh, those moments when I did make you laugh, when we did smile, when we did have fun. Like, was there an actual connection there, or was Ruby just saying that to kind of catch Conrad off guard?
I think it's more to say that she knew there was someone who could be happy under all that, but it was too sealed up by everything else he'd become. Like, that she's saying that, in those weeks we spent together, yeah, sure, it was a ruse, but there was something in there, something deep inside that was a true happy Conrad who was enjoying at least a tiny bit of it. That's how I took it.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. That's fine.
Yeah. Let's go to a big one. Ishan DW in the chat said something. I was too busy crying at the time to really absorb it, but I did the second time around. Can we just have a moment? Jodie Whittaker came back. The 13th Doctor came back.
It's crazy. We had 14
amazing
Doctor returns on our bingo card. Never in a million years did I think Jodie Whittaker would be back in Doctor Who.
Same.
I'm so surprised by how strong the links are from Jodie's era to this era, because obviously they took place one after the other. But you know, when we were like, oh, David Tennant's coming back, Catherine Tate's coming back, I was like, oh yeah, we're getting a lot of like, you know, the Midnight Entity came back. But this season we had Joe Martin and Jodie Whittaker return. Yep.
Which I think is so good. I love it. I love it so much.
It was nice. That really worked for me, because Jodie's never done the multi-Doctor thing at all.
Yeah, it felt a bit like a Guardian to the Edge moment, like just the Doctor coming back on the brink of regeneration to be like, you know, this is the end for you, but you're amazing kind of thing.
Can I put a tinfoil hat on for a second?
Have you got one handy? Because that cap that says Greece is already looking very good on you, good sir.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Do you think it was the plan from the start that Shooty was going to regenerate this episode?
I'm going to be honest.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
You could swing me either way, right? You honestly could swing me either way, but I've been thinking a lot about this. For one thing, it does irk me that he's gone now, because it's right in the middle of people saying, oh, he's been axed for one thing or the other. It's only going to fuel that side more, but we've just got to kind of ignore that.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy,
there's no official statement saying that Doctor Who's coming back, is there? There's nothing being like Doctor Who will return.
Well, yeah, that's a weird thing.
We haven't had anything
Joey
like
in
that.
the chat has said he claimed and Unleashed it was. Now, can I remind you of something Russell said during season 1? He said during one of the commentaries, I think it was Empire of Death, that he had planned a 2-season story arc. Let me remind you of that. He said...
Yeah.
Okay, but hang on. It's a 2-season story arc that was going to carry on a whole plot that was going across 2 things. Some things would not be tied up until season 2. Now, for me, I feel like if he was not originally intended to leave, him leaving would feel more bolted on. And there are definitely people who might say it felt bolted on, but I think some of the ties, the fact that Poppy was such an integral part of Wishworld and the Reality War, she was an integral part of it. Whether she did much or not, she was a through line throughout the story. Also, the fact that Ruby persuaded him that he did have a daughter after she vanished and tied it back to the church on Ruby Road. Those connections. It could just be extremely convenient that he went, you know what, she just got to go, let's find a way to wrap it up. But the way in which it was built up in those last 20 minutes, to me, it felt to me like it had been planned at least somewhat. Or at the very least, maybe he wasn't sure if Shooty would go and had it ready. Maybe he had 2 different things ready to go.
I think that's...
I don't think it was a last-minute scramble to change things around. I really do not believe that. Maybe people will persuade me one other way, but I don't know myself. I mean, it's not impossible.
I think it was.
Because the only thing that makes me think it could have been is obviously the Disney deal of it all, which I don't know how everyone else is feeling on this, but I still feel as a net, like the whole thing, the Disney deal has been a net positive. I think the increased budget and mostly the worldwide distribution, people in the UK really do not... I think some of them don't appreciate how strong it is. Me having someone on a podcast every week who is in another country affected by it makes me far more aware of it. But that worldwide distribution is so important, and I'm so glad that the Disney deal was there to do that. The only thing that's annoyed me about it is what's annoyed no doubt everyone else, is that we don't, like, there's no renewal. There's no confirmation till after season 2 is out, and that put a halt on everything. And Shooty did say at Christmas last year, you know, we're going to carry on shooting in January. Could that have been a ruse? Maybe. Acting like everything was going to be fine. Maybe they've wanted to do a surprise generation for years and couldn't do it. I don't know. You could swing it either way. You really could. But there is definitely a universe where maybe, because they didn't renew it, Shooty went on to do other work and went, you know what, do you want to just step off now? Do you want me to give you an out? And that could have happened. In my heart of hearts, I think because I liked the episode as much as I did and can kind of... In my head, I mean, this is what Doctor Who fans do all the time. I've said this in previous episodes. You know, I'm just straightening my necklace real quick, sorry, because I wore 15's necklace. It was a manifestation of him leaving, apparently. Like, we will always try and create patterns. That's one thing we do. If something happens in Doctor Who and we can't make sense of it immediately, we then spend years trying to make it make sense. That's what we do as Doctor Who fans, and if you deny it, then, well, you're wrong, sorry. So, like, maybe because I like the episode, I'm trying to do that. But to me, I can definitely see both options. I don't think it's clear cut one way or the other, and I think if you're confident one way or the other, I think it's a little bit too assuming myself personally. I don't know, and I think the fact that I don't know for sure.
I just think that it was all TARDIS bound. I feel like they put 13 in there to
And
sweeten
Unit
the
Tower.
deal for regeneration. Yeah.
There was a good
Did they
chunk of
say-
it in Unit Tower that led
did
up
they
to
say-
that, and a lot of the key
Yeah,
cast
but did
was
they
there.
say regeneration in Unit Tower?
No,
Did
but
they
the only
say-
reason that he does that whole thing is because Ruby spends that time in the tower reminding him that Poppy is alive. So unless like they were going to lead, which I thought for a second they were going to do, unless they originally planned for season 3 for him to be finding Poppy, which, I mean, would have been a bit of a stretch. Surely Russell would have known that not everyone was going to be invested in that anyway. Unless that was the plan, there was a notable scene in Unit Tower that led to his regeneration. So...
Look, okay. Sure.
This is the beauty of the podcast, man. Different opinions.
Tinfoil hat on. I feel like there was because 40, like halfway through this episode, we've killed one of the Ranis.
Which was
Omega's
crazy,
gone.
by the way. Did not expect that.
The day is saved-ish. And then, I don't know. Someone in the chat was like, this feels like 2 episodes stitched together. And I don't know. Tinfoil hat on. I was like, something's sus. Something's sus here.
So the weird thing for me was, obviously, I wasn't watching my like the time or anything in the cinema because just watching it on the screen. I really did feel like it was like the pacing of it was perfectly fine because like by the time they dealt with the Ranis, I didn't feel like that was rushed. Like I felt like by the time they got to that,
because it finished at a normal Doctor Who time, and there was still like
But Empire of Death wasn't a normal length
episode
episode either. That was 50-something minutes. It was like 10 minutes longer than the average episode anyway. So to me, that doesn't feel like alarm bells. To me, that doesn't anyway. Okay. You know what I mean. So
should we? That's fine. We don't have to spend too long on this.
Yeah, we do.
Should we go through the episode? Let's just like go through it.
Okay.
Go through the motions. I can't even remember how this episode starts to be. Oh, okay, so we got the Time Hotel back.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
What?
I love that. Again, I really like when it feels like something's been planned. Even if you're forgetting the regeneration bit at the end, feels like this 2-season story really has been planned throughout and there's like it's been organized. And also really puts to bed the rumors that Millie was binned off after a season. Because I saw that starting to rumble again when it got to Interstellar Song Contest and they were like Juno Dawson didn't know who she was writing for other than it being a 30-year-old nurse. And like I saw a bit of rumbling being like, this is more proof Millie was axed. I'm sorry, the way this whole season was laid out and tying everything together, I do not believe for a second Millie was binned. I just don't. I absolutely don't. Like,
yeah, I find that hard to believe,
same.
especially considering she's in this episode.
It felt very much like Russell wants her to be another Martha Jones. If she's there for a season, then she's popping up a few times in the next one because that's a recurring character, and I'm fine with that.
That's stupid.
And I like Ruby about as
was,
much as Martha.
It was
Don't know if
nice.
that's a hot take.
It was nice. It was nice seeing Anita again. That was a genuine like, oh, okay.
And something I did not expect for a second, as I've said on this
it
podcast.
Was a nice surprise. I was fully expecting, some other random cameo. But sure, that I like the Time Hotel being in there, and they're like, oh, well, it's like, how does this place exist if Earth vanishes, whatever. I like the phrase being like, where Anita was like, "Oh yeah, I've got the spare key, so she can go like anywhere." She's like, "Oh, I've got that." Well, I can't remember what she said, but I was like, "Oh, that's fun." It's like utilizing like a hotel term, being like, "Oh, I've got every key," which means that I can travel
I can open
anywhere.
the door
basically.
anywhere, yeah.
Sure, just purely because like that's so funny. Like, if you're a manager at a Time Hotel, of course you could basically go wherever you wanted. And sure, that worked. But Anita was in love with the doctor. Is that like? Was that
it took me a minute to pick up on that because like I was watching the flashbacks. I watched her watching him with Rogue. I was like, oh, she didn't watch them enjoy a dance. I was like, why is she sad? And then shut the door and went. After that, I moved straight on to Ricardo and I was like, oh, you were crushing on him. Suppose that makes sense. Okay, fine. Like.
They spent a whole year together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you spend more than a few minutes with Shooty Gatwa, you're probably going to fall in love with the guy, so it's fair enough.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
It's fair enough.
And then she just minds the door the rest of the episode, I suppose.
And keeps saying, I'm in management, I'm in hospitality. Like
Yeah,
in the cinema, that kept getting laughs out of everyone every time she just popped up. Like, I'm in hospitality.
This is a key. I think I would be on cloud 9 if I watched this in cinema with you.
Yeah.
I think I would be on cloud 9 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I was in this spare bed because my girlfriend was asleep, and I didn't want to, wake her up, so I slept here last night and got up at 4 to watch this, and there was so much that happened.
Trooper,
I
you're a
think
trooper.
I'm in a slightly different headspace about the episode because I think I need like a full business week
Okay.
to dissect this thing. But that was interesting. Okay, so then after the time hotel bit, can we talk about Poppy?
Yes, I mean that's bound to happen.
So what
So,
happened? Like how
Connor's
did
wish
the
world-
Doctor save the day? Did he break the world by utilizing his regeneration energy in the TARDIS? I'm going right to the end now.
So no,
But can you
so the
explain
wish
that
was
to me?
ended.
What was the glass breaking? I don't understand what happened there.
The idea was that the Doctor shoved some regeneration energy. It was very much like a Deus Ex Machina. He shoved some regeneration energy into the TARDIS/time vortex to try and mend. I don't know if it was all the glitches. Would have been interesting to know if he'd said it was all the glitches,
All
like
the
the
glitches.
Sweden border
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
and teal being the wrong color. But he managed to mend, at the very least, the glitch that Poppy had been faded out of existence. Because the whole thing was that he got Susan Triad to build a zero room so that Belinda and Poppy were in that room whilst the wish was removed, meaning that they were separate from time and space, and so Poppy couldn't be removed from existence at the same time as like the bone beasts and everything, because she physically did not exist. She was like in a void almost. So they bring her out. She ends up fading away anyway because she's one of these glitches that didn't quite work as the world kind of reset to normal. So he plugs a bunch of regeneration energy into the TARDIS to basically set it right and bring her back in such a way. And he brings her back so accurately that he's not even her dad anymore, and she's bedded in perfectly, kind of like Susan Triad in Empire of Death. She's so bedded in that she's got a backstory, and everything's changed to accommodate that, which I thought was quite nice. I liked how that was all accomplished.
So, okay. Okay. So, I really thought they were going to do something with Susan this episode.
Yeah, that is the two things out of Shooty leaving that I'm like, one is that I really did think he'd get to reunite with Rogue. I really did think that was going to happen at some point. And I was like, it won't be this season. I figured it would not be tonight. I really did. After he appeared on the TV, I was like, and you said it as well last week, like, probably not. And I was like, yeah, fair. He didn't get to reunite there. And also, I just really figured Susan was going to show up. I mean, in hindsight, there wouldn't have really been a great place for her to fit in, you know? And the common theory was that, Poppy's the Doctor's daughter, does that mean that Poppy's indirectly Susan's mum? And everyone was panicking over that theory. Thankfully, that's not true, so no one has to worry about that. But one thing that made me laugh at is one thing I have retweeted since the episode came out was that in hindsight now, that one bit of her in Doctor Who Unleashed where she's wearing a different outfit, it's just Carol Ann Ford's amazing fashion sense, because she's wearing some weird Doctor Who-y fashiony outfit that just was never on screen.
Even then, I feel like something has happened. Something's happened with this episode. Tinfoil hat on.
Conspiracy theorist here. He's the next
really
Conrad Clark. No, he's not. He's not that bad.
No, let's not.
No, he's not. This is a good man. This is a good man here. He's not Conrad.
I really think something is going on, but maybe she does.
Can I give you the optimist's counterpoint?
Sure.
The boss has not been wrapped up.
This podcast is.
The boss has been set up since the Star Beast.
And you think Susan is the boss?
No, God, absolutely not. What I'm saying is, because the boss hasn't been set up, so there is a potential for other things to also not... Sorry, the boss has not been concluded, so is there a potential for other things to also not have been concluded?
I need to know if Russell is staying. I need to know if Disney is staying.
Well, Russell is staying either way.
On.
Like, I'm 99% sure of that. He's literally been saying he's writing stories for like season 3 and season 4. He said like 2 years ago he had ideas for season 4.
He can write, but he's not the boss of the BBC. he's
right,
not,
yeah. But he had... Well,
like,
I mean, it sounded very much from what had been... I mean, the only thing that worried people was his comment on Newsround where he was like, you know, even if it takes a break, you know, things will, you know, it will always come back. The next generation will bring it back, which definitely was a concerning thing. But it felt like the very common thing was, we will continue without Disney, with or without them. That was the very kind of consistent thing I've been seeing, like the BBC say, which could have just been reassurance. But, like, typically when the BBC doesn't want to say something, they just decline to comment. But they made an effort to be like, oh yeah, no, whether Disney stay or go, we'll be carrying on. And I'm just kind of like, you know? And I also think there is definitely an advantage to just saying the fact that Shooty is gone means they hopefully could start filming a lot sooner if it gets renewed, because they don't have to worry about Shooty's new play that he's preparing for. Because now, all you have to do is check Billie Piper's schedule, and I don't think she's working on I Hate Susie season 3 or something, so I think she's good to go probably.
No, she's only a part of Wednesday, one of Netflix's biggest shows.
Which is already wrapped filming, and as far like they haven't started filming season 3,
yeah, they won't start filming season 3 for like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. So I won't worry about that either.
Yeah, okay, far out. There is so much
I
get
also
through
like the
with
Poppy
this
explanation. I
episode.
think was a little undercooked, but I didn't mind it. They basically just said that, you know, that she, like the whole point was Conrad's wish world was he wanted like in the back of his subconscious he wanted everyone to be in a happy family in inverted commas because he never was. And so the Doctor and Belinda are put together, but they also need a kid to fit that typical stereotype because they're together. They should have a kid based on his whatever stereotype. And so they pull Poppy out of the Doctor's memories. They pull like someone that fits it, someone they interact with a bit as the kid, and that's why they like it's the same one from Space Babies. I don't know how that explains her showing up in the story in the engine. Maybe I don't know if that's like something rippling back through time or something or whatever that is, because Belinda was the only one who saw her, so who knows about that. But yeah, so I didn't mind that explanation of just, you know, it's grafted from the memories. We need to have a kid to fit with that stereotype, so something was pulled from my recent memories, and it's her. Blah.
This episode is insane, man.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
This episode is okay. Let's talk about the Rani, shall we? Shall we?
When Wishworld first came out, my biggest complaint, or one of my biggest complaints, was that I didn't think the Rani had enough to do. I rewatched it and thought, no, she's got a few good scenes in here. She's cooking. Archie Panjabi's doing a good job. Mrs. Flood, maybe slightly undercooked. Again, felt like she was very much played for comedy in this one. Didn't hate it, but I still, like, as you said, you know, I would have liked to have seen
her
more
to have
of
her
in command.
moment.
Yeah.
If all it would have taken for me, I just thought of this then.
Go on.
Is if Mrs. Flood pushed that Rani to Omega or something like that.
Yeah, like stood up for herself.
She said something and then was like, you know what?
Yep.
That's it. And then got the little time ring or whatever and got out of there.
I don't know if you heard that on the podcast, but something just fell over in my house very loudly. I have no idea what that was. That scared the life out of me. It's the Rani. Mrs. Flood just pushed the Rani over downstairs.
Yeah. I mean, I was really, really enjoying Archie Panjabi's performance.
Yeah, she was fantastic. And she got to meet Mel. We got to have her face off with Mel, which I thought was great.
Yeah. But for like a second, Mel was in this. I forgot Mel was in it. What's up with Unit, like, tracking people?
I figured that was a little bit strange. I'm hoping that was a consensual thing. Can we put a biodot in you to keep you safe rather than just welcome to Unit? Oh, let me give you a hug. Oh, what was that? Nothing. You got an itch on your neck. Oh, that's strange. I don't know what that's about. I hope she hasn't given that to, like, Morris and Rose, because giving biochip jabs to underage kids would be a little bit of a questionable one from Kate.
I reckon so. Yeah, crikey. Yeah, well, Mel wasn't in this. Like, what does she do? I forgot she's, like...
Showed up, served, left, did nothing.
Yeah, okay.
I do, like, I know obviously it's not the best thing, but I do just like sometimes characters that should be around just being around. I would like them having more to do. Like, I know I literally said earlier, and I'm realizing that I wasn't quite accurate, that not everyone had loads to do. That's fair. Like, Belinda, like I said, was quite low down on how much she had. She was very much Poppy-centric. Mel also, yeah, fair. She didn't have much. I think I just appreciated that Susan Triad got to be Susan Triad, and that was one thing that stood out to me, is like, she you're giving her time. I was
fine with Susan Triad, and like,
yeah.
You know, she is a inventor or whatever.
But hearing her say she's barely a year old had me a bit like, I mean,
yeah,
but
being an ambulance. It's such a
and that's not even ages. Even if she was 20 years old, I'd be looking, going, Yeah.
Well, she technically. But yeah, I don't know. I watched the Time in the Rani last week for a video that will be coming out in a couple months on Crispy Pro.
Whoa.
And I was really excited for that rematch because they like hate each other. Like, they really don't like each other, and it would be so cool if the Rani like dressed up as her, like when she like arrived at Unit.
I just could not. No, I'll be honest, I couldn't kind of see that campy nature of Classic Who showing up here.
What do you mean?
The camp we get in current Who is Shooty using a confetti cannon to launch himself. It's not a Time Lord dressing up as a companion. I just don't see that, personally.
What do you mean?
Not dressing up. If she actually cloaked herself or like shape-shifted to look like her, fine. But dressing up as her, no. I don't think they'd have done that in modern Who now.
But it's the same character. What do you mean? This character wouldn't be the same thing she's already done?
Am I crazy? Like, I just don't see her dressing up like Mel with a wig and an outfit and everything. I just don't see it. I just do not see it. Not in modern Who.
Okay.
Not as like it wouldn't be welcome or I wouldn't like it. I just don't imagine it being a road they would go down. I don't know.
I just think it would be a funny bit.
It would have been funny. I just never expected them to do it, personally.
That's all I was saying. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
That's a fair point. Ishan just said Mrs. Flood did dress up as companions. Okay, fair. Never mind. I'll take that back. I take it back.
Where do we? There's so like Troy. My brain is like actually fried.
Back onto the Rani, because we didn't quite finish
go.
that. Like, I was quite surprised Omega just finished her off like that. I really did not expect that. I was kind of taken aback by it. We do still have the Rani out there via Mrs. Flood. She has just gone,
Which is interesting. I thought if anyone was going to go, it'd be Mrs. Flood, right? We'd have this new Rani.
Actually, can we get the live chat to help us with something? Because I need this. One thing I've seen people saying online is that Illum, whatever Illum is, has been canonized, and that's something from the Lungbarrow book that I know Clever Dick Films is a big fan of. I thought that was to do with why Billie Piper has showed up at the end, and something we'll get into later. She wasn't introduced as the Doctor, she was just introduced. And I thought people were saying that was tied to that. But did they not call the thing on the Rani's wrist the loom? Is that the thing they were talking about? I could have sworn they said it was a time loom on her wrist.
A time loom?
So someone please
I had
explain.
Subtitles on.
Someone please explain what's going on. Like, what is a loom? Please explain.
I don't know.
So let's give the chat a couple minutes to tell us.
Oh wow, a $10 donation.
Is that Mickey the Time Lord? I'm guessing. I'm curious. Do you think both do you both think that Billy will be a stopgap like they did with Tennant? Stopgap.
Like a 3-episode thing, and then we get the new Doctor? I don't know.
No,
I hope not. I really hope not. Billie Piper is like, a very, very talented and in-demand actress. So I can imagine her run being slightly shorter, perhaps.
You're the one who just said all she's got is Wednesday.
I don't know if they'd pull the same. I don't know if they'd pull the same thing twice. I like to think that. I mean, I don't know. Is that Unleashed thing out? What they were saying
Unleashed is out, and I haven't watched it yet, which I know doesn't help. I'm gonna say one thing on the record. No, but, everyone in the cinema was cheering at Billie Piper. Maybe it's just because I am like I absolutely adore Shooty in 15. I was just far too busy crying over that. I looked at her and I was just kind of like, I don't really care right now. And also,
oh wow.
Well, right. Let's get into it. Can we just talk about the ending? Can we just do it? Can we just do it?
Yeah. Let's.
Right.
Troy, let's full send it.
I honestly think I've had enough of Doctor Who Twitter. Because I'm going to be honest, this was spoiled for me, and I'm really annoyed. I didn't realise it was a spoiler at the time.
That's ridiculous.
But I happened in passing, and I've got loads of stuff muted to avoid this happening. But of course, I never muted Billie Piper, because why would I have muted that? There's no reason I would ever have to mute that. And I saw a reply on a tweet that was completely inconsequential, talking about like something to do with the finale, being like, what do we think's going to happen? And I saw, and I can't remember the exact wording, but it was Billy and 16 in the same reply. And I was like, so what, there's a rumour that Billie Piper's the 16th Doctor? I was like, that sounds like a leak. I was like, but surely not. And like 90% went, that can't be real. Put it in the back of my head. And like there was obviously there's this growing thing, Shooty might have been leaving, like there was some rumours about it, whatever. And there came a point during the episode, and it was specifically when 15 was on the hoverbike, his theme was blasting, he just kind of said goodbye to everyone that's been in his era. And I was sat in the cinema thinking, that's not a rumour, it's a leak, and it's happening, isn't it? This is being, like, tied up with a bow. And so in the back of my head, that was cooking, and as soon as he said, I really like this face, first off...
Yeah. I thought of you in that moment. I was like, yeah, Troy's gonna be like, oh no, what's happening?
I need a minute.
Troy.
Dude, I am so upset over Shooty going, actually. Oh my god, I didn't even do this over Jody. He said that, and I went, oh god, so he's going. And then I went, oh, it's gonna be Billy then, isn't it? And I'm so angry because I really, really wonder how different I'd have reacted had I not known that it was her. But because I knew it, I'd already kind of put it to the back of my head and just gone, I don't really care right now, I'm too upset over Shooty. And I really wish I hadn't known that. My mum said she'd read it somewhere online, she'd seen something come up about it. I hadn't.
Your mum read this online.
She'd heard something, and you know, she doesn't see stuff very often. Like, not for spoiler things, she doesn't tend to get that. But she had. And it just kind of, it came up in conversation because I was like, there's a rumour that he might die. And I was like, I've heard a rumour, but I'm not going to tell you it. She went, well, I've read somewhere Billie Piper's the 16th Doctor. And I went, that's what I've heard. And like we talked about this a few nights ago. I really this would not have come up had I not said I've heard a rumor, so she'd have known and I wouldn't have. But there is a point where I just kind of go, I love interacting with fandoms online, and I did a panel at MCM like last weekend, which we will talk about. And the whole thing we talked about was what's so special about Doctor Who Community. In the back of my head, while I was doing it, I was like, I do love Community, I really do. But in the back of my head, I was like, there are of course people who talk about leaks and really ruin the fun for people. But of course, it was a positive panel. Wasn't going to bring that up. I'm sat here now thinking I might just stop interacting with Doctor Who Twitter Because I'm so annoyed that was spoiled for me, and I just don't want that happening again. I'm really annoyed. And so for that reason, any comments I make on Billy Piper being the next Doctor, I'm not saying I don't like it, but let's just ignore, like, don't take anything I say as gospel. Crispy is the litmus test here. He can give his thoughts. I have some thoughts, but I'm just not, like, I don't think my brain's processed it enough yet. I need to get over the shooty of it all before I can even think about that. And we'll no doubt have a podcast episode for it anyway, so it's whatever. So, Crispy, what is going on in your mind with Billy Piper maybe not being the 16th Doctor? Because if you're watching and you haven't noticed, credits said Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, Shooty Gatwa as the Doctor, and introducing Billy Piper, but not as the Doctor.
And then that was it.
When they always say introducing as the Doctor.
I think that's like a tinfoil hat on.
Go, come on.
I think that's just the Disney of it all, because they're not quite sure if it's going to come back. I get the feeling that Russell, it's like up in the air, and if some other writer wants to do it, they might be like, oh, forget about that, and then move on.
Question.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. No, you finish first. Sorry.
Oh, well, just because I feel like I've been a slightly negative Nancy, more a confused Nancy.
No, that's fair.
But the regeneration was one of the highlights for me, because they pulled off what I thought they were going to do in 2022, because unfortunately the surprise regeneration of David Tennant being the 14th Doctor.
I hope I surprise a few people, he says.
But this one, I've never heard her name thrown in the mix. I heard that Shooty potentially this might be his last episode. We've been hearing that for bloody a year now. But I saw something. I saw something being like, the only thing I saw, which is I'm annoyed at the Doctor Who community for, I was like, oh, I wonder, because there's supposed to be this Unleashed, this Doctor Who behind the scenes thing where they've got like
20 years of Doctor Who, yeah. I think it comes
20
out
years
next
of Doctor
Saturday.
Who. They've got Karen Gillan coming back, Arthur Darvill coming back, David Tennant coming back, Billy Piper coming back, yada yada. And in one of the comments, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is going to be the first interview with a certain actress. And I was like, oh, okay, so the next Doctor has to be female, and that's been leaked. That's been leaked. That's the only thing I made. And I was like, okay, I wonder who they're gonna get. Yeah, that was on Twitter.
Can we just both get off Doctor Who Twitter? Can we just both agree on it now? Blood pact.
I might have to. But yeah. But genuinely, that was my first time ever with a surprise regeneration where I was like, I don't know who's coming. I don't know because we went into this episode being like, I don't really know if Shooty's gonna regenerate or not.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And like the music was fantastic. The music was awesome.
Yeah.
Music was. I can imagine what that would be like in the cinema. But yeah, I mean, I kind of wish Shooty had more of a speech. I guess it felt like I don't know. I love it when they do a big bombastic speech. But I suppose that Russell T Davis's regeneration scripts have kind of been their final lines are much shorter than Moffat's, where he gives these large not bombastic, more grand speeches. I can't even remember what Shooty's last line was. He was like, "What did you say? I've had the best time." Or
it's
something?
Been an absolute joy. I don't know if it was the exact wording. Again, bit too busy crying. It will be baked into my brain.
He saw the Joy Star. I thought when he said, "I don't want to do this alone," and he opened the doors to the galaxy. I was like, "Oh, that's nice." He's saying this. To space,
I liked it even more than
his
it was
love
joy.
of travel.
I really liked that. Something again unique to him. I do wish he'd said goodbye to Millie properly, to Ruby. It did feel like he didn't properly say goodbye to her.
And Ruby's part of the reason this whole episode worked. She did a lot of heavy lifting this episode.
I just say Millie Gibson. I'm just gonna put it on a limb here, and I don't care what anyone says. Easily, if I really think about it, maybe she won't be, but I want to put her top 3 companions for me, or maybe top 5 if I'm really pushing. For like top 5, definitely. What? I seriously, and I know this is gonna be a hot take, but I absolutely adore Ruby Sunday, and I was particularly 15 with Ruby, and also on record, having rewatched this era this week. Season 1 is not as good as it's better than we gave it credit for. I honestly think so. Because watching it through and scoring them and really thinking about the episodes, I was like, dude, we actually got a pretty strong season with these two. It just wasn't long enough.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What I think is interesting is, like, I think that Belinda, at the start of the season, is set up as like I was like, damn, this is gonna be like an all-timer companion. And then from the first 3 episodes, I was like, let's go. I was like, I watched The Well last night, just for fun.
She's so good in that.
She's brilliant in that, and she's like, yeah, I'm here to help, and I don't know, I really, really enjoyed her. But then we get a Dr. Light episode in Lucky Day. She's not really utilized in the story in the engine. She's pretty good in the Interstellar Song Contest. And then in these two, it's kind of like a dream world for a lot of it. And then she becomes like, oh no, I'm a mother, and that's the reason I need to get home. Which is like, I'm fine with that. That works. Like the reason she was kind of pushing to go home is like because Poppy was at home in the, I don't know.
That was rewritten. She wants to go home because she just didn't want to
rewritten.
travel with the Doctor, but it was rewritten retrospectively because he brought Poppy back. That wasn't like wasn't a narrative cutaway where we didn't see those scenes. It was recontextualized because he saved
I understand
Poppy.
it was I thought it was like how time bled through, or like I don't know anyway. I feel like Belinda. I was like ready for her to be top 3. I don't think she's top 3 for me. But what I will say is season 2 redeemed Ruby for me, because I was never that keen on Ruby, but her development throughout season 2, I was like, you know what, she's actually kind of crushing it.
Yeah, Lucky Day I think was a big one for that. If you were not big on her, that turned you. If you were big on her, like me, I was just like, dude, I miss Ruby. I miss her. Like, I did love the confrontation element of Belinda. I said that from the start, but I was always like, I just think I prefer Ruby. And the more it went on, and especially as you said, the last few episodes of Belinda just hasn't had much to do. And especially, like, she had a bit more in Interstellar Song Contest, but as we know, Juno Dawson didn't even know who she was writing for. There was nothing unique to Belinda, per se. And, like, that confrontation that she had at the opening episodes, she should have had with 15 over torturing the guy. Like, I would have been fine with them wrapping up and going, it's never going to happen again, and then being friends and moving on. But with a little bit more of a discussion there. I mean, I still adore that episode, but even I'll be like, yeah, okay, there wasn't enough there. But it just, it feels like she definitely was a stronger character in the opening half, and it felt like Russell knew where she was going to be going and just kind of pushed towards the Poppy thing at the end. And I know I've seen some people in the chat who are saying they don't like how she was reduced like that. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm like, I guess it's not as much in front of my head, but I do understand it, and I totally get that criticism. Like, it just kind of becoming focused about the daughter. Part of me's like the way she argued against UNIT to try and fight for Poppy's life, and I do like that ongoing theme of Doctor Who of, like, one life is as important as a trillion, And I do also like, just at the very core, the reason 15 ends up regenerating is because he saved one life. Like, without that one life, the universe isn't the same. Like, it's
much more doctor-y than he was
so the Doctor.
The Stellar Song Contest.
Yeah, it's so the Doctor. Like, it's so the Doctor.
Yeah, so I'm glad they did like it. Like, that's really nice. That's a really, really nice thing. And of course, like Russ, like it's the end of time. David Tennant was like, I have to save Wilf. I think Wilf is a bit better and more fleshed out of a character than Poppy.
Can I just compare to Will for a minute? Can I just compare to the end of time? I don't know if anyone else felt this who was in a similar position to me, but like I said, it got to that bit on the speeder where with 15's theme blaring, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be it. The Rani gets dealt with, Omega's dealt with. I don't know how people feel about CGI Omega. I mean, we kind of figured he might get CGI. I thought he looked quite intimidating.
Let's chat about that.
I quite like that, but we can always go back to that.
I want, like, the original costume is so
It
cool,
is.
man.
It is. I do agree with that, though. Just because I like the new one. Yeah, just because I like the new one doesn't mean I wouldn't have liked the old one. I do. But I was like, oh, he's going to go. Then, like, after it was wrapped up and they were talking the unit tower, before they went back in the TARDIS with Poppy, it felt like that bit in the end of time where, like, Rassilon's gone and the 10th Doctor's like, I'm still alive. And then as soon as the Poppy bit started, it just felt like Wilf knocking on the door, and I was like, oh, we're not out of it. It just felt like a mirror in my brain. And I was like, no!
No, that's true. I, like, when everything wrapped up, I, like, checked the time, and it was, like, halfway through the episode. I was like, oh, no.
I'm so glad. Again, cinema, as you said, better in the cinema, because, like, I would have done that too. I'd have been like, how far into this are we? I looked at my clock and, like, worked out in my head a bit of quick maths, been like, we got a bit left. And that's why I'm saying, like, when it got to that point, I did feel we spent a good bit of time dealing with the Rani and Omega. Well, not Omega so much, he was one and done, but we spent a good bit of time dealing with that story. Like, we spent a bit of time with that. I was like, is there going to be more? And also, I could have swore it said on iPlayer it was an hour and 4 minutes. And then as soon as the screening started, it was a message from Verada, which was better than last year's, by the way. If you weren't in the cinema last year, they were like, oh, special message for the Empire of Death. 10 seconds of Millie Gibson going, hi, here's the finale, thank you for watching, enjoy. This time it was like a minute of Verada being like, Belinda's been through this and this and this. Now she's going to do this. Thank you all for your support. This is a 1 hour, 8-minute finale. And she said 8 minutes, and I went, that's longer than they said online. What are they doing there? So maybe they lied about the ending bit and trimmed it off.
It's 106 on Disney.
I don't know.
But they definitely, you see that they cut like a club scene?
That was weird. Yeah, there is an image going around of Shooty and Belinda, or I guess 15 and Belinda, sorry, in a club, and Belinda's in like a red outfit. We never saw that. I think it was like on Disney Plus where they like bring up an image and be like, the next episode is this. There's a key art image for the episode.
Yeah.
But it was for Wish World, and it was that image in the background. Everyone was like, what's that about? I think it was like a German version of Disney Plus. I think it was a German image. Based on the language. I'm not just guessing the location of the photograph. But like, I don't know where that image was from. No idea. No idea at all.
It'll be some deleted scene.
Probably. I can notice Mickey the Time Lord sent another $20 in, so let's just touch on that for a moment.
Oh, wow.
Mickey said, to explain the question that I was asking, will Billy... oh, there we go. Will they Billy as short series like they did with 60? Oh, right, yeah. So will they... It's basically what you thought, yeah. Will they give Billy Piper a short series like they did with David Tennant for the 60th? Also, when will this episode air in the States? On Disney Plus today or tomorrow? It's out. It's out, Mickey.
It should be
came
out
on Disney Plus at the same time it came out in the UK in cinemas and everything. It was a simultaneous release like for the 60th. So yeah, we're going to get into calls in a minute. I've just realised we've been recording for 50 minutes, so we'll have a call section soon. I mean, this was bound to be a longer episode. You can't do 1 hour on an episode where a doctor's left. At least I'm not going to dig out a coat like I did for Jodie's last one and sit in there in a hood until 5 in the morning like I did 2022. Well, I don't know what I was going to say there at the end. Oh, yeah, so Billy, what do you actually think of the Billy Piper thing? Specifically that. Like, what do you think about her becoming back?
Her being?
Yeah,
being
her just
the
being
doctor?
there.
Good. Have you seen I Hate Susie?
I've not seen very much of it, no, and I do need to watch it.
I've seen both seasons.
Right.
And, like, I mean, Rose is absolutely... iconic as a companion, and Billy Piper has very much proved herself as this very, very capable actress. I did not guess it, thus I very much enjoyed the surprise, and I think she will rise to the occasion. I think she would play it. I'm hoping if she plays it exactly the same as Rose, then what are we doing? I just think it'll be different, and I kind of hope they kind of lean into it more than they did with like David Tennant's face coming back. Because that was like a whole being like, oh, this is to remind myself I need to slow down. Maybe there's a reason to it. Maybe there's not, because we've kind of established in Doctor Who lore that these faces can come from people that the Doctor has met. Yeah. And we've never had someone that the Doctor has like loved and now turned into, like, I feel like that would be so intimidating if the Doctor now went to the alternate reality and was like, hi. That's where Rose is.
Oh, God, imagine.
I was like...
I think I saw someone tweet, could 16 snog Rose Tyler, or would it be weird? And I was like...
would it be strange?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What I will say to answer
I'm all for it.
What I will say to answer Nikki's question is, I really hope it's not another 14th Doctor. And I say that not as a dislike of 14. I love it. I don't want it to be 3 episodes and done. We literally just had... bringing back an old actor to get a few people back on board, to get interest again, and then start with a new one. We don't need that again, literally 2 years later, or if hoping that something comes out next year, which I have my fingers crossed that if they can turn it around quick enough. No, like series 12 to 13, or even 11 to 12, where it's a year and a half between them, where we get it tail end of 2026.
We get it at the
That's where my head's at, and I'm kind of hoping. I really am, but. Either way, I do not want it to be she's back for a few episodes and she's gone. I genuinely would be like, we can't recycle this already, not in the same era. If she's back, unless it is some other narrative thing, that would completely remove it. That would remove it, and like however they handle that, fine. But if she is the 16th Doctor, if she straight up is, and she's there for just a few episodes and gone, it would be an extreme disappointment. They need to commit to it now, I think. And to your point earlier, you said, maybe it's open-ended. If it was open-ended, surely they'd have done what Chibnall did, where they filmed the regeneration and ended it at just her regenerating and left it open for the next person. They've actually not left it. They've gone past the point of leaving it open. We can't take open-ended finale on the bingo card because it just ain't. And like now, as you said, if someone else comes in, they'd have to deal with that. but they couldn't really ignore it per se because that would just be a slap in
No.
the face to that cliffhanger. They're gonna have to work with it.
No,
So,
they'll have to address it.
yeah.
In some capacity. What has been officially released from the BBC? Like, what have they put out any statement? Is there a
Let's
interview
have
from Billie Piper?
a
Is
look.
there I haven't seen anything because this morning's been an absolute fever dream. What have you done?
I'm
What have
getting
you typed in?
flashbang with pictures of Shooty regenerating, and it's just I'm not okay. Right, Doctor Who website. Let's just try and get onto the main website. What is the address? There it is. Doctor Who home. It's got to be something in the news page, right? Like surely, because I saw there's something about Billy saying that she would jump at the chance to be back.
I think I'm reading the chat right now, and Careful Trouble has said George Sheard summoned us to you. So I think George was doing a live stream on the episode, and I imagine it might have finished now, and George might have been like, "Oh, go and watch Who's There. I see they're live now as well." So if that's true, and I've just made that conclusion, thank you, George.
What a
You're an
legend.
absolute
Love you,
legend.
George. There's 342 people here right now. Actually, that is
342 people?
mad.
Is that a
342
record for
viewers,
us?
142 likes. There's 42s. Chris Chibnall's coming
Oh
back.
my! Chris
Um,
Chibnall's back confirmed.
Here we go. Right, so the article is in two parts. The first part is Shooty talking about his decision to leave. Shall I read that first, or should we just skip to the Billy of it all?
No, I think we do need to spend like we're talking about. Oh my gosh!
I tell you what, let's do Billy, and then we can go back to 15 and talk more about that. So,
Perfect.
on Billy
we need to
coming
accept
back, we
calls.
have Russell said Billy once changed the whole of television back in 2005, and now she's done it again. It's an honour and a hoot to welcome her back to the TARDIS, but quite how, why, and who is a story yet to be told. After 62 years, the Doctor's adventures are only just beginning. Feels like he's got like a box of just like cool teasy things to put in a post, and I love that for him.
Yeah.
Speaking of her return, Billy herself said, "It's no secret how much I love this show, and I have always said I would love to return to the Whoniverse as I have some of my best memories there. So to be given the opportunity to step back on that TARDIS one more time was just something I couldn't refuse, but who, how, why, and when, you'll just have to wait and see." Emphasis, they've
cryptic.
both said who, which further lends into the credence that it didn't say introducing Billie Piper as the Doctor.
The Valiard, Billie Piper.
Oh god, imagine. I mean, like I said, Russell does very much
I
feel
don't
like he's
understand
kind
what
of
else they
pulling a
could
few
do.
old names out of a hat.
I just don't understand what else they could do, like how else they could explain it, right? Like Russell's good at like, you know, kind of making some stuff up as he goes, be like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But I don't know. It is strange. It is strange that she's not credited as the Doctor, but I just don't know what else they could possibly do. Like how are they going to explain it? If anyone has any explanations, any theories,
I'd be
please let
intrigued.
us
Yeah,
know in the
feel
chat.
free to throw theories. We're going to get into calls in just a sec. I've just put a poll into the live chat, folks. Please do place your votes. Just an interesting question for me. Is the Pantheon / God story all over? What do people think? Because it felt
Holy
to
moly,
me
we've
like...
had 60 votes already.
It felt to me like it was kind of being bookended there, and she's like, you know, I've fought all the gods, you know, I've done blah, 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 I always win. And it feels, you know, they said that, was it Desdemonian? Desdemona, whatever he was called, was the god of wishes. And, like, that was the most powerful one. I know they always say we're most powerful, whatever, but I kind of feel like maybe they'll just stop now with 15 having done all the god stuff and moving on.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the God storyline should be over. I'm happy with, like, I think they could have played it up a bit more, being like, oh, Omega's like the big god. This is the big guy. And, you know, once we kind of defeat him and the wish, you know, baby, we're no more, then we're done.
George has just
but what
popped
I-
up.
what-
He sent his legions to join our stream. His
Oh,
legions
thank
have come.
you. George has sent his legions.
Well,
Last week, you and Tharies were like, I don't know if the wish is activated by kissing the baby on the forehead.
I hadn't noticed.
I told you it is.
Yeah, you were
I
right.
told
Like
you it
every
is.
time I've seen it since, us like Wish World or this, I was like, yeah, every time they kiss the baby. How did I not notice that? I'm an idiot. I'm blaming it on
Yeah.
watching it on a small bad TV in a hotel room.
Yeah,
I'm blaming
that's
it
true.
on that.
That's crazy.
And not just my own stupidity.
So you watch Wish World on like a teeny tiny TV, and then you watch this one in cinema? God, that is awesome.
Maybe you think maybe he's compensating for something. Gotta have a little Shrek quote, you know? Interestingly, I don't know if it's just because they've listened to our explanations, but the poll was like 60 to 70% on no, maybe more 60% no. It's now split 50-50.
Whoa, that's a different podcast. We can't be saying that.
Yeah, we can. We're the better 50-50 podcast. No. Okay, so
No, they're not.
let's
They're
get to the
beautiful.
shooty of it all. Deep breath, deep breath. So, in that article,
No, mate. That's
speaking
Series
of his...
8, mate. That's Series 8.
Speaking of his decision to leave, Shooty said, "You know when you get cast, at some point you're going to have to hand back that sonic screwdriver and it's all going to come to an end, but nothing quite prepares you for it. This journey has been one that I will never forget and a role that will be part of me forever. There are no words to describe what it feels like to be cast as the Doctor, nor are there words to explain what it feels like to be accepted into this iconic role that has existed for over 60 years and is truly loved by so many across the globe. The fans and truly the final character and beating heart of this show. Oh, sorry. The fans are truly the final character and beating heart of this show, and I can't thank the Whoniverse and the Whovians enough for welcoming me in and making this such a touching experience. I have loved every minute of it, but now is the time to hand over the keys to that beloved blue box and let someone else take control and enjoy it every bit as much as I have. I'll truly miss it and forever be grateful to it and everyone that has played a part in my journey as the Doctor."
Bruh. Bruh. Wow.
I'm not okay. I'm just not okay.
And people in the chat are saying he never faced the Daleks, huh? The first
Which I
Doctor
think
ever.
is a real. I've said it before and I will stand by it. That is such an oversight. Like, even if they were focusing on the gods of it all, I know, like, you know, Eccleston didn't fight the Cybermen or the Master. 11 didn't fight the Master, but every Doctor, save for Paul McGann on screen, but I think there's a reason for that, and also, like, War Doctor did, even. Future Doctor hasn't. Again, you can forgive the short ones for obvious reasons. But every Doctor that stayed
Height
40...
has nothing to do with this, mate.
Hmm?
I said height has nothing to do with this, mate. Because you said I can forgive the short ones for a reason.
Mate. But, like, every Doctor that's had a season or more has faced the Daleks. So I don't know. Can you just clarify? Because the Doctor Master in the chat is saying that I loved the episode and you hated it. Can we just clarify? You didn't say you hated it, did you?
No, I don't hate it. I've just got a lot of questions.
Bro
Did it
is
tie
a
up in
Windows
nice
XP
little
computer.
bow
He's just
for me?
taking a while to process. Okay.
Yeah, quite literally. But like, when we watched Empire of Death,
You were like,
I
that
was
sucks.
like-
No, I'm joking.
I was much more negative on this. Like, I could not avert my eyes. My house could be on fire, and I'd be like, "Hold on, I've got 15 minutes left of this thing, and then we'll deal with this." I had so much fun with this episode, and you know, I enjoyed the fact that, you know, we had Ruby back, we had Unit. Like, it felt like a big finale. Russell loves, oh my god, the world is ending in a finale, and for the most part, I really do enjoy a Russell finale. And there was so much to accomplish this episode, and some of what they did accomplish, I wasn't even on my radar. Like, oh yeah, let's bring the 13th Doctor back. Let's bring Anita back and you know, incorporate the Time Hotel into this. And let's have Shooty regenerate. So it achieved a lot, and there's a lot of stuff I do like. But no, hate is too strong of an emotion to waste on something you don't like.
Well said. That was a quote from something, isn't it?
Doctor Who, it's a good show.
I was going to say, was it from Doctor Who? But I was like, I've heard it somewhere, and I was trying to remember. Like,
I think Clara said it at some point.
So, we obviously need to get into callers. I've just seen one more thing, which is just that Shooty's era is less than half of Matt Smith's. If you really want to push it, if you really want to go there, Shooty's era is only slightly longer than one season of David Tennant. Episode-wise. Shooty Gatwa was in 18 episodes. If you count the Giggle, 19. Okay?
Wow.
So he didn't even break 20.
Dude.
We thought we had it bad on episode count with Jodie. Like, she was, I think, time-wise, the longest running question. No, David Tennant was just slightly the longest running by, I think, a month because of the Christmas to New Year thing. But basically one of the longest running Doctors with the least amount of episodes. Whereas, like, oh yeah, Beast Boss just said there were technically 19 episodes in Series 4. He's not wrong if you combine the special into that. So, David Tennant's Series 4 to specials run is the same length as Shooty Gatwa's run. Arguably longer because, again, one of those 19 is The Giggle, for which she was only present in the third act. So...
How many episodes did we get in Jodie? Is it 10?
So Jodie was 10 New Year, 10 New Year,
6?
And then Flux and 3 specials. So 10, 10, 6, 26, 28, 28, 31, right? 31. Am I crazy?
That sounds about right.
31,
no, that sounds about right.
Which means that Shooty only had just over half the number of episodes that she had.
You know what they should do?
What?
They should, like I'll say it, the production value is incredible. They when Shooty was like flying through London, I was like, yeah, this is Disney money.
Yep.
There's Disney money talking. But like I don't know. They could if they give us. I would love it if they went back to 10 episodes. I'd love it if they went back to 13. But that like people don't really do that these days. They don't really do that these days. But I think we could push for 10.
We waited 2 years for the last for season 2, and that was 7 episodes.
Crikey Moses! There was really only 7 episodes.
7 episodes.
Wow.
And
we're complaining about Doctor Who,
longer, but we can get into that in a different podcast. But yeah, I don't know.
How do you feel, Troy? Are you happy the note that it ended on? Are you?
Yes.
Do you like if you could have your own wish? Do you wish that Shooty would have more time,
yes.
or do you think no, this makes sense? Okay, you would want.
Well, your first question was, am I happy with how they ended it? And that is yes. The ending he had, like I said, there's nothing more doctory than sacrificing yourself for one life. Like that is like it's Tennant, it's Eccleston, it's not Smith, Capaldi for a ship, so not far off. So yeah, like for one life, like I think that's beautiful. Like. I think it's testament to how much I love Shooty Gatwa and his Doctor that after 18/19 episodes, I am the most distraught I've ever been about a Doctor leaving since David Tennant in 2010. Like, I can say that with confidence.
With Shooty?
With Shooty. I can say that with
I
absolute
think
confidence.
if I saw this in cinema, I'd be a bit more emotional. Like, as soon as as we said before, as soon as he said, "Oh, I really like this face," I was like, "Oh, I've got to prepare for this."
In fairness, though,
yeah.
Capaldi I didn't appreciate as much at the time. I've said this on record. I came to love him a lot more on rewatches after the fact. So that one is a little bit I was heartbroken over Matt Smith, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I was quite as heartbroken as I was with Tennant. And I think if I compare Matt with
I was
Shooty,
real sad with Matt.
Well, yeah, but you
Matt.
started with him. You were always going to be the most upset over the.
You never forget your first.
There was just something about Shooty's Doctor that just felt so right. And I have seen arguments online that he's not had as much of an arc as other Doctors, and that's just true based purely on episode count, like
on
purely.
Time. Yeah.
But I've kind of said to you one thing I've loved about him was I really related to the kind of the jumping around, the excitement, hyper energy, which I know some Doctors have, but specifically one thing I've loved and not everyone's picked up on is people have said, oh, he got so attached to Ruby so quickly, but he's someone who isn't afraid to show his emotions. Who will just let them go out. I do that a lot, and also gets attached to people really quickly. I do that too. I mean, we did one podcast episode, and I didn't stop hounding you to do one until you finally relented. Like that's a pretty good example of that.
60 weeks later,
it's how much I love the Australian. That's how much I love this guy. Okay.
Nice.
He annoys me sometimes, but I love him dearly.
Troy.
But that's the point. Like, I feel like I relate to his Doctor a lot because I see a lot of my own personality in him, and I think that helps a lot. I also just really loved him and Ruby specifically. There was something about that dynamic that I absolutely loved. I also loved his theme. There's something that just to be said about a Doctor doing Doctor themes while their theme is blasting. Like, there are different bits of music for every Doctor. I think one of the most iconic has got to be the 11th Doctor. Like, there is very little that gets the blood pumping. It's him running along with dun, 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 and it's just great. But every time 15's theme came on, every time... I was just like dun dun da 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 da. It's so good. And I just feel like, to me, it's testament to how right he felt to the role and how much I loved him that after 19 episodes, 18, 19, literally a year and a half, I am more distraught over him than the last 3 Doctors leaving. I think that's got to say something.
Yeah, it is crazy that we... wow.
A year and a half we've had the 15th Doctor. If you go based on
us doing this podcast, this is our first Doctor for the entire podcast. Like we got in at the tail end of Whittaker. Oh yeah, sure.
But yeah, first proper mainline.
2 weeks
I've
of
got
our
seasons.
Life.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
And there is something about... I've seen people in the chat saying that he wasn't for you. I mean, that's true of every Doctor. There are people here who don't like the 13th Doctor. I mean, you're wrong, but there are people out there that are like that, right? No, seriously, everyone likes and dislikes certain Doctors. That's fine. I know it sounds very, I'm on the fence, I'm very whatever, but it genuinely is true. To some people, there'll be an amazing arc for a Doctor, and if you don't like that Doctor or you don't follow that arc, you go, they were terrible, I don't like them, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's down to how you perceive it. So me sitting here and saying Shooty was fantastic, I'm more upset about him leaving than Smith, Capaldi, or Whittaker, that doesn't mean he was better than them. It just means it meant more to me. Please be aware of that. I don't think I need to say that.
Well put. No, that's really well put.
Let's be clear.
That's really well put.
You know? So, I don't know. But you are wrong if you dislike the 13th Doctor. Sorry, no, I will firm that. I will firm that. I will. That's the one thing I will say you're wrong on if you dislike her. Sorry, I'll fight her corner. I'll fight her corner.
Oh
Crispy,
my God.
we have been recording for 1 hour and 6 minutes. Shall we do some callers?
Yeah, we need to hear from the people.
Let's
I'm
do
very
it.
intrigued
Let's do it.
to
This is
know-
probably going to be a long episode. I mean, it already is a long episode. Oh, just before you do, here's some stats. Mr. Scarlo has provided the number of episodes for every modern run Doctor. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's go.
Christopher Eccleston had 13 episodes. David is the winner with 47 episodes. Matt Smith was very close at 44. Peter Capaldi, again very close with 40. Jodie had 31. David Tennant again for 3. And then Shooty Gatwa for 18, or again, depending on how you count the giggle, 19.
Wow.
So that means, let me do a little percentage. I can't quite work this out off the top of my head. If we do Shooty's episode count, let's not count the giggle. Shooty's episode count as a percentage of David Tennant's episodes, that means his tenure is only 38% of the length of David Tennant's based on episodes. Just over a third.
Wow.
Yep. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah, I just...
Damn.
Callers,
Makes me
let's do
sad.
it, Crispy. Just do us a favour and refresh the page just so we've got everything most up to date for it.
Yeah, I've already refreshed. No
You're
one's-
my
no one
guy.
else has
You're my
called
guy.
in.
You're my guy. So, let's go through some
I
calls and
haven't
see what
listened to
everyone has
any
got
of
to
these,
say.
man.
Hmm?
These are all fresh. Like, people could be.
If you're slightly
mad.
concerned, just go for names you recognise, just to be safe if you want. I mean, we are live, forgive it. If you're slightly concerned that anyone might have snuck in and said something dodgy, just stick to names that we recognise. That's the best thing. I can't see them on here, bear in mind, so you read out some names to me and I can always pick one.
Oh, you can't see them. Okay.
Well, I can, but if I
let's-
zoom in, emails will go on the screen, which we don't really want. Oh, actually, sorry, I could
Okay.
do it in another tab, couldn't I? Idiot. Yeah, there we go, I can see them.
do-
Okay, so, what are we thinking?
Let's go with. Oh my gosh, so many people have called in. Ant Dude was the first one to call in.
Oh, Ant Dude. Okay, cool. Let's see what Ant Dude has to say.
Hello, Ant Dude.
Hello, Troy and Crispy, Andrew here from Troy's audience. Oh wow, what an episode! First off, I don't even have thoughts. Like, Jodie coming back, the combination of Basmet and Billy Piper coming back, and also just because we got some extra time, a funny little story. I actually predicted the baby going because I just said to myself, the baby's gone in it, and then just Ruby turned around and it was gone. Anyway, bye.
Oh,
Oh.
the baby just vanished.
I loved so much how they did that unsettling nature of Ruby sensing something going wrong and her sensing it, I think, before anyone else, of that jacket being
Absolutely.
folded down, being like, what's going on, turn around, baby's gone. That was so well done.
I mean, I said it last week. I love dreamy stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
one of the best bits of the episode was them just folding that jacket up until the point where you're like, hang on, something's way off.
And I also love, normally when something changes about the timeline, where someone's forgotten or something like that, the Doctor is the last person who'd forget it. You think about when Rory dies the first time in Cold Blood, it's like, you know, like, I'm a time traveler, these kind of things don't affect me. It affected Amy because it was her personal history. I guess that's the same thing happening here, but typically when people are removed or whatever, the Doctor's always the one who remembers. He's always the one who knows who's gone, who's there, whatever. Seeing instantly he forgot just as quick as Belinda, again, I think maybe I've just made a connection without even realising it, maybe because it was his personal history, that's why he's forgotten. But seeing
Yeah.
the Doctor be just as clueless as everyone else, and Ruby being the one to say it right, again, Ruby got so much to chew on, and I'm so glad, because I love Millie Gibson. I'm so glad about that.
She's
But
much more of a companion in this than Belinda, which is
Yes.
a shame. But anyway.
It is a shame, but I am just.
But yeah, no, she crushed.
But yeah,
She crushed.
Jodie coming back. Can we just, like, Jodie and Shooty together? And we got Thasmin Crumbs in 2025. We got to give that a second. We've got to give
Your
that a
Honor.
second.
Your Honor, how is this possible?
Oh, I was so chuffed. If you're newer to the podcast, I was like one of the biggest like Tasman support. I'm not saying Crispy wasn't, but I was like cheering it on, being like, we got to get some crumbs. We got to get crumbs. And the fact that he stopped to say I love you to Jodie, which is just something I think the fandom, at least I hope most of the fandom, just like really feels and gets to see that echoed. And then she's like, I should say that to Yaz. And I like that he acknowledges, you never do. Almost feels like people saying, yeah, you should have. But clarifying of the, you don't have to, she knows. It kind of felt like it played both sides, but did it effectively, and I really loved that about it. I really did love that.
I think the scene like worked really, really nicely.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of maybe I'm reading into this. Maybe it was Russell seeing like some of the horrible stuff said about Jodie in her era and being like, no, the Doctor can just say, hey, we love you, by the way, and like it's kind of being like, hey, Jodie,
You're wrong if you dislike the 13th Doctor. Just say it. We can all say it. You know, we can all say it.
I'm not saying like I agree with you up until that. Like people are allowed to dislike the 13th Doctor. I think the 13th Doctor
it's illegal.
is flawed.
It's illegal. You will be arrested for having doubts.
Oh no.
You are entitled to opinion, seriously. We're playing a bit here. We're playing a bit, okay?
We're playing a bit.
Yeah, you will be arrested for having doubts. Also, I've just noticed the one-time ladies back in our chat who was one of our OGs. Like,
hello.
And also made a Thasmin edit to a Pale Wave song at my offhanded suggestion. So that's a full circle moment. That's a full circle moment. Yeah, beautiful. All right, let's have another caller. Who have we got? Shall I pick someone as well? Let's see.
You can have a look.
I can't press play, obviously, but can we have? Do you know what? Since we've got, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, there's so many names I recognize. Everyone, it's like the Avengers have assembled. It's like it's our own reality war. I recognize so many names. Oh, Crispy, you pick one. I can't pick. You pick.
Twain's brain.
All right.
Twain's brain. Hello, Twain's brain.
Okay. So yeah, I thought this was a interesting episode. I'm not sure if I would call it good or bad. But I think overall, Shooty may have needed a bit more time to marinate. But I would say, I think he did a pretty good job with all the material he was given. I just wish he had been given a bit more time. I also have to say I appreciate the RTD tried to clean up some of Chibnall's queer baiting by directly confirming some things with Yaz. I think that was overall really well done.
There was an argument at the time that the Thasmin stuff was queer baiting.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, it feels like a century ago now, man. But I can't quite remember. I know it wasn't actually, it didn't quite class as queer baiting because like the love was reciprocated in a certain sense. It just wasn't like pushed to the full brink because of the way the characters were. So, but removing that word aside, I do understand. It's like what I've already said. They get to have that closure moment of like, you didn't say you loved her like that, but you didn't have to. She did anyway, and we all kind of like, we love you too. Like that was a nice moment, so I definitely agree with that. I
can't believe we're talking about this for the Reality War review. Like we were talking about.
It's special to us as well because like that was the second episode we had on the podcast. Like again, there's a lot of full circle moments. This is where we regenerate, and then like George and Cooper take over our podcast, and we're just gone.
That's so funny. That is so funny. Who are you? Are you going to be George or Cooper?
Who's got the better takes on Star Wars? Which one liked Ahsoka? Whoever was Cooper who liked Ahsoka, right? So yeah, I'd be Cooper, you'd be George.
The first episode we reviewed was Legend of the Sea Devils, where that's like a heavy.
Oh, Thasmin, yeah.
Episode, but it's like a heavy Thasmin episode.
Guys.
So yeah, this is big for us.
It's poetry.
But yeah, thank you, Twain's brain. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, I hope it sounds loud enough on the stream. I know on audio this won't matter, but obviously I can't levelate these right now, so I really do hope that everyone's able to hear everything well. Shout out to Eat My Salad Halloween. The chat said, feel free to talk about Thasmin every stream. I like you. Crispy, who we got?
Let's listen to Denhu99.
Denhu99, okay.
Hi guys, so in terms of my thoughts on the episode, I'm kind of in a mess right now because I just got back from the cinema watching it. Just these thoughts come to mind. Where's Susan? Where's Rogue? Why was the Rani taken out like that? Why is Omega a corpse? Why did Shooty have to leave? Why? Just why? Why is Billy the Doctor? Why? Nice to see Jodie though. So yeah.
Is Billy the Doctor? Is she?
I think that's how I woke up as well this morning. I think we have the same questions. Yeah, so why can Ruby make it snow? Why does Mrs. Flood look at the camera? Why does Ruby have a song within her?
So actually, can we just have a moment on a couple of things there? Because rewatching the season, I was like, the snow, he does say from the start it's a warning to avoid the day. Which you could write off as why it keeps showing up. Like, it's a big, heavy moment they're saying, warning it to go away. I think it could have been a better explanation.
I think maybe not why, but how?
What?
Sure, that's the why, but how?
I don't know. Listen, I had some explanation, not a full one. And also, in defense of the indefensible, because I'm very much, come on, pointing at the sign, what the heck. there's one detail I did forget. At the point in the time window where the mum does turn around to point, Shooty is stood there. So she isn't pointing with nobody there. So she's pointing with someone as witness that she's pointing at the sign. Still very much a stretch that it's quite clear she's pointing saying, I'm naming my kid after a road. But someone was there. So I can, maybe I'm like thinking, is that where Russell was going? She just saw someone there and thought, you know what I'm doing, name the kid that, and walked off. Still don't support it. I still think that was the dumbest part of that episode.
Imagine you're walking late at night and you see a cloaked figure point. I just don't know where you're gonna make that.
One gif, is it Kevin Hart with like doing like the what are you looking at me for kind of thing? Just like, why are you pointing at me? What the hell?
Is this
what
my
the hell?
responsibility?
But yeah, it's just yeah, stretch of the century. I agree. I'm not necessarily trying to justify it, which I see Nausea saying I am. It was just a thought I had of, is that where Russell's head was at? Is that what he was thinking? Because someone was there, so she could point. Man. I still, yeah, it is a stretch. I don't personally firm that as a good explanation. I'm just wondering if that was where his head was going. Because I kind of had that moment watching, I think it was Legend of Ruby Sunday, and being like, is that where he was going with that? I don't know.
You know, sorry, Troy, I'm so mean. But one thing that actually, like the rest I'm like, oh yeah, we can kind of justify. Oh yeah, I kind of see what they were doing. Someone made a joke earlier this season about how the Vindicator looked like a gun. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's like, ha ha ha, yeah. Because Russell, if you don't know, has made a point being like, oh, what was he saying? Talking about the sonic screwdriver?
Oh yeah, he said it looked
like a gun.
He thought it looked a bit too much like a gun. I forgot he said that.
Anyway, so the Doctor gets the Vindicator this episode, straps it on like it's a machine gun, and just shoots the absolute daylights out of Omega.
My counterpoint,
with
my
the
optimist
power
counterpoint,
of 3 billion suns or whatever it is.
My optimist counterpoint was that it would be against the god form that he's taken. It wouldn't kill him, but just stun him and push him back enough to be sent to hell. The Doctor had no intention of killing him. He just wants to seal him away again. That would be my optimist counterpoint.
Sure.
But I do understand. Yeah, it was very much. I've got a big gun.
It looks more like a gun.
It does.
It looks.
Oh
like
no,
a
it
gun.
does.
It's
He like
used
pulled
like
a piece
gun.
off and just went pew! Like it very much felt like it. I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I think that genuinely might be my biggest criticism of the episode. Is that
fair?
Which I think is just crazy.
I
anyway.
will say this again. I mean, I'm full of hot takes. I always am when I'm the optimist. But I will say I think how they handled Omega, visuals aside, and this again is someone with not much classic history, so you give me a bit of forgiveness here. But my big fear was that they were going to introduce Omega in this episode, have him around a bit, and quickly dispatch him a la Sutak. Not have much to do, get rid of him. But they had him more as a monster that was coming, and they stopped him. So, like, he was more a fear because of his presence and what he could do. But we didn't get to see it because he didn't get to come out fully. They managed to stop him and push him back. And I think that was a better utilization rather than bringing him in properly at the 11th hour and then not using him fully. I think having him be that threat but deal with him quicker worked better than the alternative of having him come out, do a bit of dodgy stuff, and then undo it. I think how they did it, I think I appreciate that more because it would have felt more underwhelming had he come out of the portal and then in 20 minutes later gone, by the way, Omega, so the episode's about to end. Shooty's got to go. Billy Piper's got to show up for some reason. Could you just, like, go away for a little bit? Like, I prefer it. That I prefer how we got it, personally.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
They already had too much in the melting pot. I feel like adding more in and going too far would have... Yeah. I agree. Kaio in the chat saying the presence of Omega was a problem already. That's fair. I would argue the ends justify the means. The Rani was never someone who wants to end the world. As she said, she's never one who wants to kill. She wants to create life, even if hers is more, like, anti-moral. But she, like, her whole thing is she wants to create a new Gallifrey, and she needs the power of an all-powerful Time Lord to accomplish it. One who... Also, we haven't talked about the fertility aspect.
Let's talk about bi-generation.
So can we clarify? The Master doing, like, they've actually explained it better than I think they ever did in the Timeless Children. So that the Master
Way
killed
better.
the Time Lords with a giant genocidal DNA explosion. Why didn't that impact the Doctor, by the way? I guess technically not a Time Lord, so... okay. The Rani switched the DNA a little bit, so she
was he
swerved
just, like,
it.
off-world? Like, is it just, like, a proximity thing? He wasn't
I
on
think it's
Gallifrey?
everywhere, because, like... I mean, even Shooty said to Ruby, 15 said to Ruby in, I think it was Devil's Cord, he was like, big genocidal explosion, Susan might have been caught in it, like even he wasn't too sure. So
Couldn't that just mean that Susan might have been on Gallifrey?
it could, but it also could have mean that she wasn't, and it could have still affected her. Like, you could swing it either way. But
Okay.
point being is that they made a point saying that after that genocidal explosion, Time Lords are now infertile, is the point I'm getting. They weren't before. It's because of that specific
it's because,
explosion.
yeah.
And
Thus, by generation.
Shooty wonders if bigeneration is the reason that. I mean, that doesn't quite explain why Jodie didn't then bigenerate, because she regenerated after the, the explosion.
There might just be
Taking a while to kick in.
It might just
just breaking it in, just breaking it in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something weird did happen with her regeneration.
I do. True. Actually, true. I do hope that means it's a bow on bigeneration. Because I've said already, I liked it in the giggle,
so.
fine with it. I really liked what it did in letting to have the current Doctor and the next Doctor act together. Thought it was a narrative device that was glorious. When the Rahani did it, I was like, but it did mean Mrs. Flood got to still be around, even if she may not have been used as well as she could have been. Although, based on how it ended, she could come back. I mean, she's out. She emergency temporal shifted out of the plot, so you never know.
I hope so. But it'll be years. Oh,
but like they did that, I was like, ugh. If they bigenerate anyone again now, put this on record. If the Master bigenerates at some point, I'm gonna go, come on, okay, enough, please. We've got to be at the end of this.
I think we're done.
The more they do it, the more they're going to ruin it.
With bigeneration.
Yeah.
I think with this era from 2023 to now is done. We're about to enter a brand new era of Doctor Who. We're not quite sure what form that takes. We're not quite sure when it's going to happen. But congratulations, everyone. We have made it to a new frontier of Doctor Who.
I'm looking at it like Stephen Moffat's era, where, Moffat was, like, assuming Russell is still a showrunner, which, as far as I'm concerned, we've got no reason to believe he won't be. But
can I put money on the fact that he won't be? Can I just
if you want, but I'm going to put money on the fact that he will still be.
How much do you want to do?
Actual money. Fella, I don't have the cash for this. 10 quid.
Okay, you're on. Shake
and all right, cool. And if I'm right, you have to give me 50. You just shook on it.
No, absolutely not.
$100 dues. There you go. You all heard that, right? You all heard that. I'm looking at it like Stephen Moffat, where he's still the showrunner across 2 Doctors, but the Doctors feel like different eras in and of themselves. Matt Smith's more the storybook, the fairy tale. Capaldi's a bit more, like, I guess, darker in a way. In sense, like, it felt like a marked removal from Matt Smith's era, despite Clara carrying over, of course. So I feel like it's going to be something similar, where Russell is still the overarching showrunner, but more than Eccleston to Tennant, where it still felt like the same show, it may feel a bit different because of this notable shift and possibly end of the Pantheon and all that, wrapping up like the journey's end of the 15th Doctor era characters and starting fresh. I wonder if that's where we're going.
We'll see. Only time can tell. Only time can tell.
True.
And what is even more telling is that we have so many more callers to get through.
Let's do some more. It is currently nearly midnight in the UK. I mean, I'm good to keep going, but the time has flown, my boy.
What's Russell T Davis's best episode? What did you say? I thought you said it was midnight. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, my bad.
Can I just say, also, rewatching The Well, I put that up to a 10 out of 10. Is that crazy?
Did you?
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite for the season. I said I rewatched it last night.
I whacked up The Well and Interstellar to 10 out of 10. I know the Interstellar is not perfect, but there's something about that vibe I just loved, and George and Cooper did not change me, although they did bring up some very important points, like, that I do appreciate.
Absolutely.
But in terms of the episode itself, I still absolutely love it. So that means, coming out of Shooty's era, I have 5 10 out of 10s. I have Boom,
Bloody
Rogue,
hell.
The Well, Interstellar Song Contest, and The Reality War. Out of 18 episodes, 5 that I think are 10s.
I've got one.
Which one?
I've got one.
The Well.
What do you think? No. 73 yards, man.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry.
Awesome. That's the best.
It's kind of sad that the one that's a 10 out of 10 for the era is the one with the Doctor's not even blooming in it.
That's true.
15 hater confirmed. Get him. Kill him.
15 hater. No. I mean, Boom is probably like my favorite Shooty episode.
Boom is so good. It's so good.
But it's probably because it feels like a Capaldi and Clara episode. I've always had a soft spot for those two.
I remember hearing, I think it was Nerdcubed, I think I heard say it at one point, but he said, I think the quote was, Stephen Moffat has always been good at writing an episode of Doctor Who. Which I feel like is such a good description. You give Moffat just an episode, go, write an episode. It's not to say he was bad as showrunning, he was bloody brilliant. But like, you go to Stephen Moffat, I need an episode, he will just come up with something that is just great. And like they talked about in, I think it was Unleashed, the behind-the-scenes conversation between him and Stephen. Stephen goes to Russell, okay, here's my pitch. Doctor stood on a landmine. And Russell basically goes, you've got episode 3, make it happen. Like, I just, like, he has an idea
Yeah.
and he can run with it, and it's beautiful. So yeah, Boom is like, that's, cinema.
It's beautiful.
Cinema.
It's beautiful. Let's.
Bingo is
listen
coming, Third Eye Alliance,
to-
it is coming, don't worry.
Let's listen to Minusage. Hello, Minusage.
So I thought the pacing was a little bit off, and the return of Omega was like a little bit naff, to be honest. And the Rani being just sort of thrown aside near the end there was a bit of a shame because I really liked her. However, I really liked the rest of it. I loved 13 being back. That was my favorite scene. It was really unnecessary, but I really enjoyed it regardless. Anita being back was great as well. I really thought 15 was safe as well. I didn't expect him to go, and I don't mind Billy coming back. It's like, who cares? It's Doctor Who. Weird things happen all the time.
Yes.
Well
put.
said. Well
Weird
said.
things happen all the time. Like, I was just telling my girlfriend that. I was like, oh, Billy Piper's the new Doctor, I think. And she's like, oh, are people going to like this? And I was like, well, I don't know. We just had David Tennant back. I feel like we're getting weirder with
Yeah.
our Doctor castings. Is like, you know, the Doctor's numbers don't mean anything now. Like, we're already like, I don't know. There is no structure to Doctor Who. It is a weird show, and you can do whatever you want. And I suppose we are at our 16th incarnation. If this was like the 3rd incarnation, and, you know, Susan Foreman was the 3rd Doctor, everyone would be like, what is happening? But
Yeah.
like, Doctor Who's been going for 60 years. It's all right to shake up the formula. And it's so funny. People like, wow, Chris has really shaken up Doctor Who. Chris Chibnall, wow. The mention of the Timeless Child, gosh, he's messed up the show. And now your precious canon is like
Everyone's just like,
all
perhaps I
over the
treated you
shop,
too
man.
harshly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen,
Oh,
as a young Crispy Pro said, Doctor Who is such a crazy show.
Doctor, wow.
Yeah.
Reference and
Yeah.
a half. Troy, I could bloody kiss you. Well done. That is.
There you go. I love, there's this one interaction in the live chat I've got to read out that I love. Spider Batfan said, why was 13 there, by the way? And the one time lady replied, vibes. Honestly, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
You could say that to me as the actual
I think that
explanation,
was
and I
in
go,
the-
yeah,
that was in
that's
the
alright.
clip. That was in
That's
the
okay,
script.
that's
Yeah,
fine. So yes, Colonel Crow, in response to you, Crispy, has said, you're right, shake it up. Announce Ryan Sinclair's wobbly bike as the 17th Doctor.
Let's
This
do
is the
it.
kind of crazy stuff we need. This is the kind of crazy
do
stuff
it.
we need.
That's exactly
We need
right.
it.
I would be so funny if, like, I can imagine us, like, a clip of ours rocking up on one of those, like, really horrible I hate Doctor Who shows.
My
being like,
tweet
"This is
might
what-"
do that, fella.
Yeah, true. But yeah, because you're going viral. But
We'll
I
talk
feel
about that in
like
a minute.
like, I could just imagine them cutting to a clip of us being like, "Oh, this is what modern Doctor Who fans want," and then the clip saying,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, Ryan's bike should be the Doctor," and then like them taking it not as a
As
joke.
verbatim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. If you don't care enough to check the evidence, then you're the idiot there. Sorry.
That's right.
No, I did a tweet as I left the cinema that was like saying I was really devastated over Shooty leaving. I've been crying a lot, which I still am. Like a few times I've been trying not to while people have been saying stuff. And for some reason I must just tweet it at the exact right time with the Doctor Who hashtag. It's blown up. I think it's got well over 1,000 likes, and already I've got the lovely pits of the Doctor Who fandom who are like, oh, there's not
hear a
enough
few.
testosterone in your tweets, and I'm like, if you know me, you know that's not something you expect from me anyway. Like something I often say to my friends is that I am the least straight guy you'll ever know. So like you saying there's not much testosterone in my tweet, that's on brand for me. You're insulting me with something that I know is true. But I've hidden a few. Here we go, in hidden replies. Oh, crying, that's why you're crying because that's all he ever did, plus destroy a beloved franchise as well as the BBC. Everything woke turns to SH1T. What sort of life are you leading, crying for 45 minutes, you need help? This might be the lowest testosterone post I've ever read. Or one I replied to said, get out more. And I just said, says the one taking the time to mock someone for liking a character in a show. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's just true.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
It's
a
good
lot of
stuff.
people have been really nice about it, but there's always those pits of people. There's those pits of people who just always want to get angry, you know, always want to see the bad in things. And, like, people, it's just easier to enjoy stuff. It's the banner of cinema wins. Liking things is more fun than not liking things. And I saw a few people saying my 10 scores mean nothing anymore. Listen, if I'm so positive that my score doesn't mean anything to you, I'm happier, because it means I'm just enjoying stuff more. And more like that.
Yeah,
I
Troy-
always
Troy
give
is
things more
living his
positive
best
scores
life.
unless I really dislike something, like, I don't know, Craven the Hunter, or that one episode of What If where Thor was an idiot. Like, there are some things that I don't like. They're just few and far between.
Troy, we gotta we've been building up all season for this bingo card. We have to.
For what? Sorry. Say it again. For what? Sorry.
Bingo.
You mean?
Bingo! Alright.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on.
That's the wrong one.
Leave me in again.
Bingo.
Bingo!
Bingo.
Why have you got bingo all right and bingo intro next to each other? That confused me so much.
I don't know, man.
Vibes. It's vibes.
Absolute vibes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Can we get
it's
some
time.
bingo in the chat, please?
It's time. Here we are. And for once, I've actually answered it properly because it's the live episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to see if we have bingo in Doctor Who Season 2, Who's There Bingo. You can see, for the audio listeners, I will describe this one for you very briefly. We are very, very close on a few lines. The top row across only requires us to tick off the Doctor and Belinda don't become best friends. The middle across row only requires us to tick off that the best episode was guest written. If we tick that off, we could also get a downwards bingo if we go back and say there was a callback song at the Interstellar Song Contest, which I tried to argue by saying the voice of Janice Goblin came back to sing the song and I was shot down. And if we say there were less TARDIS interior scenes, which there really weren't, no, opening and finale, no, they're the best shots. They're the best shots. It's an across bingo. So there are two tiles we really need to talk about. I mean, we could say Mel flashback. There wasn't directly a flashback, but she talked about the Rani. So which one do you want to discuss? Do you want to discuss the Doctor and Belinda don't become best friends, or the best episode is guest written? Where's your head at?
Well, the Doctor and Belinda don't become best friends. They become husband and wife.
I was going to say, on a technicality, they jump from, I want to go home to, you're not so bad, I want to travel with you, to, we're parents. I feel like they skip over the best friend line, and even by the end it feels like they're good friends, maybe not best friends. I don't get the same vibe of him and Ruby where he's literally like, she's my best friend. I don't get that same vibe, and I haven't all season. So whether that's just my Ruby love talking, whatever they've been, I just don't know if I describe them as best friends. Chat, thoughts, crispy thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know if I would describe them as best friends. Which, I mean, we can come back to it.
Kaio in the live chat. Sorry. That got me so off guard. Kaio in the live chat said they've got a friendly divorced kind of vibe.
Yeah, literally.
You win. That's the best one. Absolutely.
That's absolutely the vibe they landed on. Look, there's a strong case for that one.
Yeah.
The best episode is guest written. That is, what do you think is the best written episode of this season?
Oh, I really don't know.
You.
I really don't know.
What else have you given a 10 out of 10?
This season I've given the Well, Interstellar Song Contest, and the Reality War. I don't know. The thing is, mine's not always down to quality of writing, it's just how much I enjoy the episode. And as I've said before, I will sometimes give an episode a 10 if I love it so much that even if there are faults, I just don't really care. That's my criteria for a 10. And a lot of episodes I will really enjoy, but just go, this doesn't feel like a 10. Like Dot and Bubble. I don't really have many issues with that episode. I think it's a fantastic episode. Didn't feel like a 10. Felt like a 9 to me when I rewatched it. Some episodes will just click like that, and it's not always for writing. So I don't know if I want to base it off my 10s per se, is really think about the episodes and which one really feels like the best written one. So that I'm kind of trying to be more objective here.
This is real tough.
And
because
the chat is saying a lot of what I'm thinking. Even though I didn't quite give it a 10, I gave it a 9, 9.5. I would argue for Lux being the best written episode. I think there's a good case
there's
for that.
there's a lot of love for Lux.
Yeah.
Which means it's not guest written. I was gonna argue the Well, and that's co-written. So
which I would count. And if we get double bingo on a card that we beat to death as a terrible card for 4 or 5 weeks, would be very poetic.
This is a call to arms, everyone. Everyone that is watching on YouTube, please leave the episode that you think is the best from season 2
best
of Doctor
written.
Who, and we will the best written episode.
Oh no, actually no, sorry, best no, because it's best is guest written. Sorry, I'm going back on you for that. Yeah, what you said right the first time was right. Best episode.
Yeah, just give us the best episode, and we'll
poll.
Have a look.
Can you get an 8-option poll?
Can we do an 8-option poll? I don't think that's possible. I was going to suggest that.
We can only get 4 options. So if you can give me 4 options to put in, I'll put them in.
Should we do the first 4 and then the second 4? We'll be here all day, but.
I'm happy to do that if we give it a couple minutes each. Yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay,
part of me
sure.
feels like putting things in like the Robot Revolution. By the way, like there's only one episode I think where I liked it less on rewatch. Robot Revolution. That episode just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't.
I think, yeah, I'm gonna do a retrospective video, and yeah, I watched Robot Revolution again, and it's not that great.
All right, here you go. So here's what I think I'll do. The top 2 episodes I'll keep for a final poll from each of them, and then there'll be 4 options for the final poll. Thoughts?
Sure.
So here we go. First
Sure
4 up
thing.
now, live chat. You've literally got a minute or 2. I'm not going to give you There are 2 votes, and nobody's picked Robot Revolution. You're my people. You guys are my people. I love you. I love you. Okay? They get it. These guys, they get it. Okay? So you have got about a minute. While we just wait for that. Still not over. It's not AI. It's Al. I saw that coming and still don't love it. Also, just the whole. Oh, Al's actually in pain. His mind's speaking to us. He wants to be rescued. Oh, he's a sperm and an egg that got hoovered up. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah,
That is so.
ridiculous.
And also, we
It's-
never found out, why did Belinda know that the TARDIS was called the TARDIS? Is that just an error in the editing? It's gotta
Because
be.
there's a deleted scene. Something's happened in the
Yeah.
script. But yeah,
mate.
that is an oversight. What a funny little season we
All
had.
right.
It was very good. I
Poll
really
is going to
enjoyed
close
season 2
in
overall.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have 42% for the well and 38% for looks. So those 2
Beautiful.
get through to the next round. So
Wow,
can
so
you
Lucky
remember the
Day
well
didn't
and looks
make
for me,
it.
Crispy? Can you remember those?
I really loved Lucky Day, but I suppose compared.
I loved
Yeah.
Lucky Day too. I only got 15% though, unfortunately. So then we have the story and the engine. I'll put Interstellar, because I don't think I've got enough letters for it. Interstellar Song Contest.
This is so much fun that we're doing this. The power of live television.
The thing is, and I kind of said this earlier, is like, I loved our Power of the Doctor episode we did live, because it kind of had this energy of, we've got loads to talk about, let's just get through as much as we can. And there was such a fun vibe to that. I'm kind of glad we got another one of those, even if it meant Shooty left. All right, next poll is up, folks. You got about a minute to vote on that one. The top 2 from that one will be selected for the final poll, so get voting. Yeah, can we just talk about how 15's
yeah.
generation, just while they're doing that, can we just talk about how signposted it was to he's going? Like,
What do you mean?
I really like this face. This is going to take out my soul. There won't be another one of us after this. You will, especially like Belinda, as if it wasn't obvious enough afterwards, because it could have been Matt Smith was like, oh, I survived. Brilliant. Love it when I do that. When he woke up on the grass, it was like, maybe he's actually going to get out of it. As soon as he went, maybe you'll see me again, but not like this. Very Eccleston. I was like, oh, great. He's gone. He's gone. So
That's it. See you, man.
So
See
that
you
was
later. Have a
very
good
well
one.
signposted, like a signpost on a road next to a
Yeah,
church.
just point at it.
Yeah.
Point at it.
The point, right there. The
What did
church
you-
on
what did you
15's regenerating road.
This is such like a nerdy question. I'm sure some of our listeners will enjoy this conversation.
Who are you
but what did
talking
you
to,
think of the? What do you think of the visual effects for the regeneration? It looked very different to other
Gorgeous.
regenerations.
Oh my gosh.
I would have loved to have seen it on a cinema screen.
It was beautiful. There is a case to be made that it's more beautiful than 13's. I'm not saying I agree with that.
Absolutely, there is no case.
I know, I think there's a
Absolutely,
case
there is
based
no
on the
case.
way the star kind of light pattern comes out from the TARDIS. The actual core
Yeah.
regeneration, no, 13's is better, definitely. But I kind of liked that big star nature of it at the end. There was something really beautiful about that. So you could definitely make a case for that. But yeah, it was gorgeous. All right, that's got to be enough time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a much bigger way. I think maybe people just want us to take it off on the bingo card, but the biggest majority, it seems like, has been story in the engine, as well as Interstellar
I
Song
think-
Contest. Narrowly gets through.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, poor Wishworld. I loved Wishworld. This is ridiculous.
I liked it more on rewatch, and much like you say, sometimes a finale can harm your love of an opening episode. Loving a finale, I think I like Wishworld more because of how it went in the reality war. I
Good.
really do.
I think
So,
Wishworld's
best
a better episode.
Final.
I think Wishworld is a better episode. Is that crazy?
Interesting. No, it's not. Well, what
Is
did
that
you give
crazy?
Wishworld in the end? Remind me. You gave it a 7, right?
I gave it a 7, but I think I'd bump it up to an 8, and I might
Okay.
I might give the reality war like a 7 or a 7.5.
He's got to score.
Like, it is
people. No,
good.
the episode's not ending yet. No, don't end it yet. Don't end it
No,
yet.
no.
Come
It
full
hasn't ended
circle.
yet.
I'll just put Interstellar for song contest. You all know what that is. Right, the final poll is live. I'm going to wait till it gets probably 100 votes. Like, that feels like a good number to wait for. So get voting.
Vote now.
There's 270
Vote
of you here.
now.
Surely enough of you can vote for that to happen. So get voting. Which one do you think is the best episode? And I'm telling you now, if the well wins, I'm counting it as guest written because a guest was involved. That's a technicality I'm just going for.
If Lux takes this out, then we cannot tick this off.
So basically, if anything other than Lux wins, that's another bingo. We might have 2 bingos on a card that we took the ever-living life out of for 4 or 5 weeks, saying we goofed so badly. This is a character arc, Crispy. It's a character arc.
Look, I think this might be our best one.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Card at the end.
Isn't it crazy how what's that One Direction lyric? Does it ever drive you crazy just how fast the night changes? It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
One Direction lyrics in a Doctor Who stream. Who would have thought?
That is us.
Who would have thought?
Pointing in one direction.
Oh, and Sarah Glover's made a good point. You know, we were like, oh, you know, Polish is a Benny level meme. And then, like, George and Cooper were like, well, you know, Mr. Ringading, that's a Benny level meme. I think nothing's been more than Dugadoo.
Nah, Ringading's the winner for me, but Dugadoo has taken a life of its own.
Dugadoo, 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 I'm gonna keep doing it until we get to 100 votes. Come on. Dugadoo. I'm not gonna keep doing that. 91, come on, get us over to 100. Few more votes, let's see where the spread goes. Get your votes in, people.
Poll, please.
Let's see what wins.
The poll.
I think we already know what's going to win based on the share, but I just want to see with the last few votes whether
I haven't seen it. Oh my gosh.
Can you see the results?
Gosh. Anything could have happened. No, I haven't seen the results. I won't click it, so I can't see the results.
Okay, cool. 5 more votes. Come on, people. 264 of you watching. I know some of you won't be voting in things, but I think a few more of you could. A few more of you out there could do it. Come on, you can do it. Oh, one of my friends is DM. Is this a link to? Yep, Shooty Gatwa's regeneration, the new Doctor reveal scene, and Doctor Who has been officially released online from @DiscussingFilm. It's always crazy when Discussing Film post about Doctor Who.
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's so good. It's second to whenever Discussing Film tweets something that you were in the audience for, which has only happened twice. One was like an Ahsoka season 2 news thing, so I was in a panel for it. I watched a panel at Liverpool Comic Con, and the other was David Tennant did a panel at MCM last weekend, and he was asked, like, you know, what superhero would you have played if not Kilgrave? And he was like, I'd have loved to have been Mr. Fantastic. But Pedro's doing it and I think he's going to do a good job. And Discussing Film tweeted about it, and I was like, it's crazy. I was in the audience when he said that, and that account's tweeting about it. There's something weird about that. One more vote. Come on. One more vote.
Oh, hang on. Just before we wrap this up, what was really like? So they tweeted about how Billie Piper is the next Doctor. Is that what they said?
I think more just that she's took over from him. I think they've been very coy about how they word it.
Yeah, Troy. True, Troy.
Yeah, that's my name. I mean, we've only known each other about 5 years. Troy. But yeah, go on.
But can I just say, thanks to Jodie Whittaker, doesn't it, like, it feels kind of normalized to have a female Doctor now? Like, that's not the headline.
I'm so glad they've gone to a woman again. Can we also say that?
Yeah.
Part of me was worried they wouldn't do it for a while, like, for whatever reason. And I don't even think necessarily to be like, we want to avoid another Jodie situation. I think Russell and co do not care about another Jodie situation as I'm describing it, which is not a great way to describe, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't think he cares. I think he was probably just more bothered on whoever's the best actor, which is fair. But I kind of felt like it might have been a while before a female Doctor came back, assuming she's a Doctor. I'm so glad that we've got another one, because that just cements it as no, like to all the naysayers, Jodie wasn't a mistake. Jodie was great, and we think there's still credence to a female Doctor, and I love that.
Absolutely,
I love that.
Absolutely.
And on that note, 104 votes, and the poll results are in reverse order with 7% of the votes. The Interstellar Song Contest. It's tied, but they have ordered them, so I'm going to go with the order they're given. In third place with 23% of the votes, The Story and the Engine. Tied at 23% in second place is Lux, meaning The Well takes the cake by a definitive 46%. So who's their audience rates that The Well is the best episode of season 2? I can make a case for that, definitely.
Tick it off. I don't want to see it anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't want to see it.
Are you guys ready for this? You know, this is a Taylor Swift lyric. Are you ready for it?
Are you ready for it?
You know, sorry. I need the PDN version. There it is. Okay.
Can I give you a mashup of the century?
Do it.
Ready? Here we go. It goes. Are you ready for it?
Oh my god, dude! I could kiss you. Oh, of course I can't.
I think that's a lyric. I think that's bars.
Love a Monsters reference there, Crispy. Did you get that?
What?
Did you
Sorry,
get it? I made a reference to eczema.
Did you get?
So just one last question, just for me, Crispy. We definitely not ticking off callback song at the Interstellar Song Contest because Janice Goblin's singer came back.
Nope.
Really? We get we get triple bingo, mate. We get triple bingo.
I don't want triple bingo.
Fine. All right. Listen, I tried, chap. I tried. I did try. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this?
I am ready for it.
Just got to save. Bing. And then I'm just going to go like this, like this, like this. And ladies and gentlemen, we have...
Bingo!
Bingo!
What?
And not just one bingo, double bingo, baby. We did it on a card that we thought was terrible. We got double bingo.
What?
And you guys helped us. You agreed with us on the last two. You helped us with a vote, and you also agreed on the best friends thing. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Good stuff. Right, Crispy.
Moving on.
We have been going for nearly 2 hours now. We need to get to Patreon callers. But I do still want a few more speak pipers in. So I'm going to give you an offer. Do you want to do patrons now and then a few more callers at the end to finish off? Or do you want a few more callers and then finish off a Patreon? You choose.
Counter offer.
Oh.
We save Patreon for next week.
A bold
we are
maneuver,
well over
Crispy.
time.
A bold maneuver.
They'll understand.
Any patrons want to complain about that? Crispy's made the decision. You can't complain to me.
Well, they're not related to the episode, are they?
They might be, is the problem.
They might be?
They might be.
Oh. And we don't know. We haven't listened to them?
We don't know.
Okay.
Patrons, are you watching? Can you please head to the hotline channel and just let me know real quick? I'm just going to put, would a delay of your calls to next week be an issue for anyone?
Yeah.
If you're watching right now, patrons, get in there and confirm it with me. You've got about 2 minutes to tell me. Do let me know.
Okay. Let's go. Who do you want to
Time
listen
Wiz
to?
says this stream is now a reality war against the patron callers. Yeah, they give us our money,
Yeah.
we don't give them any time. This is a great
Exactly.
balance.
I'm
I don't
happy
think they'll
to.
mind, but
I'm
I would
happy.
rather
I
just
think-
check. I'm sure they won't mind, but I would rather check. If someone is unsure, and I won't name you if you do say it, by the way, if someone says, I have a problem, I'm not going to name you, don't worry. But if anyone does, let us know. You got about 2 minutes. So,
Yeah,
should we just
please,
answer some
please.
questions for a minute? Or actually, no, give us another caller.
This is Hunter. Hello, Hunter.
Hello, you handsome man. I hope you're doing bloody fantastic because I loved the episode. I thought it was fantastic. The humor was on point. There was one particular moment with Rani and Conrad that I was laughing at. It was, Conrad was saying, I'll do anything for you, mistress. Ooh. And then Rani was like calling him handsome. I was laughing at that, man. Absolutely laughing. Emotional beat's great. I feel like everything after the Doctor left unit to go and save Poppy was meant for season 3, but then the regeneration had to be put in. So you do what you do, and it's still a good episode.
Yeah, something I teased that earlier. I felt like that they might have been setting up a Poppy thing for season 3 and then just very quickly wrapped it up. So it's not impossible.
Delicious.
Oh, Sarah Glover's
Absolutely
pointed something
delicious.
out that I didn't realise. We forgot to actually read the responses earlier. Looming is apparently a method of birthing Time Lords. The loom is a device in the Time Lord Citadel that all Time Lords are born from. So,
Okay.
is that
so
tying
what-
to the
how does
Billy
that-
Piper
how does that
thing then, and
explain?
not the wristband that Ronnie was wearing? That sounds more like the Billy Piper of it all.
That does. I like how you say that. Something of it all.
Yeah,
You always say that.
I've got
that
one
of it
patron said
all.
they don't mind. Actually, to be fair, we could do, I don't know what, like, obviously we're just doing admin on the podcast again. We could kind of do a goodbye 15th Doctor, Reality War 1 week on kind of thing like we did with Power of the Doctor, and it would fit really well then anyway.
Well, I imagine us doing like a tier list or something next week, like some kind of.
I want to do
follow-on
something for
piece.
season 2, but I kind of almost want to give it another week because of this whole 15th Doctor thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Sure, I think next week should be more Billy Piper, but yeah, I mean we.
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
can-
So we got a few options. Okay, cool.
We've got like a whole month worth of content from this episode.
Yeah, we've
for
got a
sure.
lot coming, people. And now that the season is over, remember, we will be putting different calls out on social medias, Twitter, YouTube posts, Discord, Instagram. I'm going to get back on the Instagram and start using it. Sorry.
It's all happening. It's all
But
happening.
we will be announcing, so keep an eye out whenever we announce new call-ins and get your calls in as soon as you can. We're going to be hopefully ramping up a few things and getting quite a few ideas out. And maybe what we might do is get some calls out very, very quickly, like different requests, so we can kind of order them as we choose. We may do it like that, you know, kind of get ahead and pick a good order. So do keep an eye out. Do keep an eye out. Oh yeah, and the spin-off too. Yeah, we got so much, man. We got so much to talk about.
Far out.
I thought you were gonna swear for a second. I was shocked. Like
No,
you went
no,
far,
no.
and I went, dude, we're on a live stream.
No.
Oh. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
we'll leave the patrons to next week. There will still be a live episode at the end of the month where they'll have their call, but this one will be next week. That's fine. Okay. Couple more callers. Let's wrap it up. Let's do it, Crispy.
This is the 23rd Doctor, Craig Owens. Hello. Very good, thank you. Okay, moving on. We have Shark. Hello, Shark.
Sorry, I zoned out for a second to listen to it. That was the call. Just
There's 3 hums. Yep.
All right, next one. Who's up?
This is Shark.
Okay.
Hello, Shark.
Well, boys, that was something. I think I'll give the episode a 8 out of 10. It was good. The Poppy stuff was really good. I liked Omega's design. I wish we would have seen him a little bit more on screen. However, it was really good. Shooty, sad to see him go, but Billy Piper, that's crazy. Didn't really expect that. But yeah, I think we jumped the shark. So from here, I'm excited, but also very nervous. We need some news from Russell just now.
That's one big
Jump
thing.
the shark.
They're gonna if they
Yeah.
want to capitalize on this, they're gonna have to announce some stuff and announce it soon.
How this podcast will come out when? Tuesday.
Tuesday morning.
I feel like by then we might know something.
And if we do, the next episode will be
who
all about
knows?
that.
Yeah. Oh my word.
We change our upload
Anything
day to
can
get it
happen.
out sooner.
Yeah, crikey.
It's gonna be a crazy time.
So much stuff is going on.
Yeah.
All right, couple more. Let's go to. Do you sing any names you want?
I can't
Dr.
see them right now.
Masters
No, I'm
sent in
looking.
another-
Time whiz, I
another
agree. It's
minute long.
11 minutes past midnight in the UK right now, but it feels like time has flown by since the episode. Yeah, I feel like I'm on an upset and also excitement high. I don't even know. I can't believe he's gone, man.
Let's listen to William. Hello, William.
Just come back from the cinema watching the finale. Yes, much better than the first part. I didn't like what they did with Omega, making her this big wrinkly goblin thing. Didn't like how the new version of the Riley got eaten. And yeah, Shooty Gatwa is now turned into Billy Piper, which I don't know how to feel right now, but it's exciting and fun, and we'll have to see what happens.
I just want to know. It's weird that they didn't say that she's the Doctor. Anyway.
I wonder if, and as I already said, continue to take my Billy Piper thoughts until I've had more time to think about it as not serious. But I wonder if part of the reason I'm not leaping on it is not just because I'm so sad about 15, but also because we just had a previous actor hoodwink like a few years ago, and I'm wondering if it's maybe a bit too soon. But again, it depends on what they're doing with it. Like I'm trying to stay objective until I see what they're doing.
It has to be different.
It's gotta be. She
can't
cannot
just
just be 16th Doctor here for a few episodes. Either she's 16th Doctor here for a few seasons, or there's something else at play here. And that's why I'm like, let's wait and see.
If it's a stunt, if this is some kind of stunt, like you could argue that David Tennant coming back was a stunt, but I really liked what they did there.
The 14th Doctor is my favourite Doctor, like most likely, but we can all agree, at least partially, it was a stunt. Let's just be serious here. It was at least partially.
Absolutely.
And that's not to discredit Jodie or anything like that, but it was quite clear that, they wanted to wait to celebrate the 60th. They wanted to do something because Shooty was still busy filming Sex Education, but also there had to have been at least an idea floated around that, Doctor Who hasn't got as many people talking about it as it used to. Let's bring back the guy who was at the forefront of it all. But there's also all these other reasons, 6th anniversary, celebrate previous Doctor, all this. Multiple reasons. But a stunt being of it was at least a little bit of the 14th Doctor, and I think it would be reductionist to not believe that. That's what I'm scared of. I don't want this to be another stunt. I don't see how it could be. It feels too soon for them to even, and again, this is for lack of a better term, it's too soon for them to even need another stunt, let alone anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, that was 2.5 years ago that Jodie left. Isn't that crazy? Jodie left 2.5 years ago. We saw the 13th Doctor regenerate, and now we're talking about the prospective 16th Doctor.
Crikey, bro.
What happened?
Oh, man.
What happened, man?
I don't know. Disney.
This sounds like I'm angry. I'm genuinely not. I'm just, confounded. I'm like, what? I am discombobulated. That's a great word.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man.
So
There's
crazy.
a lot going on.
So crazy.
Let's hear from Vincent. Hello, Vincent.
Hey guys, Vincent here from Hungary. It was a good episode, but I don't like Billy Piper coming back. It's really weird, and
Ooh.
it's regression. I don't like it. Have a good night watching you live. Bye.
Oh,
Much love,
he's
Vincent.
watching that.
Much
he's
love.
watching.
Much
He's
love.
in the chat. Interesting. Well, how?
There's gonna be
let's
people
get
on
a
either
vibe check
end,
in the
yeah.
in the chat. How do people feel? Can we do another poll? I'm loving the polls. Poll time. We need to play the poll time.
Oh!
Just for old time's sake. That's so good. Oh!
It's poll time. Crispy, what am I writing? Tell me.
Are you happy with Billy Piper as the next Doctor? Or just say, are you happy with Billy Piper returning?
I'll put thoughts
Yes,
on
no.
Billy Piper. There's 4 options. What do we think? Love it, like it, indifferent, hate it.
Yep, done. Beautiful.
Okay. Love it, like it, indifferent, about it, hate it. All right, there you go. No, hang on. Sorry, I've just put thoughts on Billy Piper. Like, let's be specific. I'll put as in quotation marks 16, so or equivalent.
Yep.
So
Good.
there you go. There's your poll. Make your vote. I noticed Mini Sitch said something in the chat that made me feel a little sick. He said, oh, it's disappeared. He said apparently the time between Shooty's announcement and his first appearance in the Giggle is longer than his appearance in the Giggle to his regeneration. We knew Shooty
Say
was
it ain't
coming
so.
for longer than he was the Doctor.
No way.
I really hope that's not
No
true, but I genuinely wouldn't be
way.
surprised. I'm gonna have to
Wow.
do the timeline of it while they're voting. I'm gonna have to.
So what? It was like April 2022.
Let's have a look.
Wasn't
Shooty Gatwa. I've just searched Shooty Gatwa is the Doctor. Because I thought it would come up, but everything is Shooty Gatwa's regenerated. So maybe if I look on Wikipedia. Here we go.
If you go, yeah.
On the 8th of May, 2022.
Okay.
Right, so there we go. So, days between... The Giggle was the 9th of December. Don't ask me how I remember that. 8th of May, 2022, and 9th of December, 2023. So that's 580 days. Now, days between the 9th of December, 2023, and today... Oh, he's right. Oh, he's right. Oh, he's right.
Wow. That
540
is
days.
crazy.
We spent 40 days longer than knowing he was going to be the Doctor than we had with him as the Doctor.
That is
I feel sick.
mental.
I feel sick.
That
makes
is
me even more sad.
mental. Wow. Wow. That is so funny. Damn, man. Gone too soon. Rest in peace, Shooty Gatwa. Wow. Oh, Troy, the poll is looking very interesting.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
It's alright. We'll end this soon. We'll end this
I don't
soon.
have to end it. I'm just really upset.
I need to watch the episode again and record a video and another video.
I need to watch
I think
it
I'm gonna
tomorrow,
try and do
and I
3
need to watch
videos.
Unleashed and the YouTube behind the scenes and everything. Oh.
There's too much. There's too much to do. There's too much to do. Do you want to read out the results of this?
I want to give it a bit longer. It's only got 84 votes. I want to see if it hit 3 figures. Please do place your votes.
Only
on the Billy Piper of it
84
all.
votes. 84. Can you imagine 84 people in a room?
Yeah, I can.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Still 216 watching us at Gone Midnight UK time, so thank you all for being here. We love you lots.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. This is a ridiculously long episode that will be very tough to listen back to, I imagine, because of how long it is. But thank you for being here if you're here.
Yeah, I just... Crying will only make the views go up. Don't even. I don't need much to get me going. I really don't. I can't... Like, I'm... For A, how much I miss Capaldi and how much I love him, and B, for recency bias, I don't want to say Shooty's my second favourite Doctor. I don't feel willing to commit to that. But certainly third favourite behind David and Peter, without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't know where I would rank Shooty. Season
But even
2's done a
saying
lot
that, I feel
this
bad for
Doctor
Matt
me.
and Jodie, because I do love them both. It's kind of like they're all S tier, but it's just the order in which they're S tier. Like, that's where I'm at. But I think it's like I said, it's the level of relatability that I feel to him, especially, like I said, all that criticism, especially when you call Ruby his best friend in Rogue, being like, you've been with her for 5 minutes. And I'm just like, there are people out there who get attached to people like that. You can chat to someone for one night for a few hours and be like, we got loads in common, and then just want to keep talking to them, romantic or not. I've had that happen for both reasons. Like, I get attached to people very, very easily, and I see that a lot in him. And I think maybe that's it. I think maybe this is the first Doctor where I've... Your light's given up. It's gone, right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, it's only been on for like 7 hours.
I think this Doctor, more than any other, is one that I feel like a personal relation to, and I think that's what's done it more than anything. Where, you know, he's not had the longest arc or anything like that, or the most episodes. Lord, he's definitely not had the most episodes, but what he's done is just... has been so good.
I think I'd like to watch all of classic Doctor Who before I do a Doctor ranking.
Oh, I really
I'm
would love to watch Classic Who properly. I need to.
I'm slowly dipping my toes back in.
I want to try and persuade my mum
which
to
is
do it with
exciting.
me, because we keep saying we're going to rewatch Modern Who, but I wonder if I could get her to watch some Classic Who.
There are some absolutely banging stories.
Yeah, there definitely are out there. Yeah.
I filmed a bunch of stuff, but what did I watch? I watched The Deadly Assassin the other day. Oh man, that was awesome. Anyway,
Is that the one
I
where
think
the
Troy-
Fourth Doctor killed someone?
Because
He actually snapped someone's neck, right? I mean, not to be violent on the podcast, but like he does that.
No. It looks like.
Oh, no,
I
that's-
don't
is
want
that
to spoil the episode.
Talons of
It's a
Wen Chang.
I think
called?
you're thinking of a different
Yeah.
episode. This like, if you want a dream sequence, go and watch The Deadly Assassin. That is crazy, man. I think we got enough votes. Let's end it. Let's end it.
Also, we just make a point. Yeah, someone's saying Big Finish could fill in the gaps with Shooty and Millie. Yeah, they can't do it with Belinda, surely, because like season 2 is perfectly chronicled as
they won't do
Vindicator
it.
readings gone. So I don't know how they do it with Belinda if they wanted to. Right, let's end the poll. I haven't seen the results myself. All I can see is what's winning, so I know what's won. But here we go. 103 votes. Let's go in reverse order. Oh wow. Oh
Yeah, it's
wow.
interesting.
Okay, so our audience is yet to be persuaded properly. 103 votes. Lowest response is love it with 19%. Next lowest is like it with 20%. Hate it has 26%, but the winning for 33% is indifferent about it, which is kind of where I'm at. And I think maybe it's because of the stunt of it all, it appearing a bit like a shock value thing because they haven't explained it yet. Once they explain it, I'll probably feel way better about it. But just it being so soon after David coming back, I'm like, again. And also just, I'm too busy being sad about Shooty being gone. I'm just too sad about that. You know?
Yeah.
Shooty Gatwa, who liked my Instagram post earlier. Just saying.
Yeah, it's
Just
so
saying.
damn cool. That's so damn cool.
I couldn't believe that. It was before we started recording for the other listeners. I did a post earlier showing my photos with Shooty and Millie at the con that I famously did not enjoy last year. Finally shared them properly. And when we got home for cinema before we went to start rewatching it, my mum just went, Shooty's liked your post. I was like, what? Looked it up. There he is. Big blue tick next to him. I was like, ah! So.
It's awesome.
That
It's
made it a bit
awesome.
better. That made it a bit better. So,
Well,
there you go.
I'm excited for whatever Billy Pipe, whatever's gonna happen.
I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm not like angry or annoyed or even indifferent. Almost
I like
feels
it.
dramatic. I'm just like I
I
want to.
like it.
Where are we going? Until I know where we're going, I'm kind of just like, you know.
Yeah,
Just like
it's all up in the air.
yeah.
Uh,
So
Troy, I think that's a pretty good point. I think it's a pretty good point to wrap it up.
Crispy, I'm going to ask you a question that's probably impossible after all we've said.
Yeah,
Can you give me your closing comments?
I will. I will do that.
Just sits here for 30 minutes before he gives them.
The reality war had a lot to accomplish, and it accomplished a lot of it, plus doing more than expected. The future of Doctor Who is currently up in the air. There has been some exciting things set up, and we'll just have to take it a day at a time. But until then, let's get excited for the war between the land and the sea. Thank you so much, everyone.
There you go.
That's it.
Sorry,
That's
I
all
just had a
got.
thought in my head of what if they put the 14th Doctor with Billy Piper coming back.
That would be so silly.
Yeah, but
That
why
would
in my
be-
head do I feel like they might end up doing that?
No way. They've got like a no.
Ugh.
I'm not. That's so
Final comment.
random.
I really hope they're not changing the TARDIS. The lights all going out as he regenerates makes me think something's going to change.
No.
But they already
I
said
think- I
that
think
set
this-
is there. Like, that set is ready
Yeah.
if Disney pull out. So, like, surely not.
I didn't believe that. I'll go on record and say I didn't believe that the TARDIS set was still standing. I thought it had been demolished. But Crystal D, who you just did a panel with,
Yes.
filmed on the TARDIS like the other day. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
the idea of
still
being
there.
demolished, I did not believe for a second. I knew there was no way.
I
of that.
really believed it. I truly was like, oh, okay. But I heard things from elsewhere, not just Twitter. But anyway, we can get into that. anyway, that's fine. Insider knowledge.
Oh, right. And he's got insider knowledge. Can we not just be fans, Crispy? Is that not allowed? My necklaces have all
No.
tangled together again. Look at that. It's not like 15's in the show where it's all connected to one chain. There's 2 necklaces and they're getting tangled. It's like that hit
I
Disney
see.
film. Were you going to make that joke as well? Sorry.
No, no.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this 2-hour episode of Who's There, a Doctor
I
Who
need some
podcast.
sleep.
We have got so much to do in the next few weeks. A Season 2 retrospective, a 15th Doctor retrospective, the Billy Piper of it all, the war between the land and the sea, no doubt a Season 2 hot takes, and then probably whatever they talk about in the next month or so about the future Doctor Who, hoping they do. There's a lot to talk about, so if you have enjoyed this podcast, please click subscribe on YouTube, follow on audio platforms, rate us 5 stars, give us likes, give us comments, give us all of your attention. You know we deserve it, okay? Let's be egotistical for a minute.
Everyone,
we are deserving.
Yeah, no,
No.
please.
But please do support us. Please
subscribe. Please subscribe. We would love to have. Yeah, we've got some absolutely insane stuff coming up, and we would very, very much appreciate it if you did subscribe. We have very much enjoyed all of the love and the positive feedback you have given us this review season. It's a very exciting time when we do these. We get a bunch of guests on, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you very much for joining us for this season of Doctor Who. We're not sure when we're going to do it again. So now is an opportune moment for you to subscribe, because we will deliver Doctor Who content even if Doctor Who is not on the air. So thank you.
Let's please not
Thank you,
entertain that
everyone.
possibility. I can't take it. Please don't.
Well, it's not going to be on the air next week, so you know, we always
It's
do.
not
We
airing
started
next
this
week?
podcast. It's not. Sorry, man.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye. No, we can't end on that note.
Thank you all for watching, seriously. The episode 160 of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. Crazy. And actually,
Crazy,
yeah,
man.
this podcast, you know, we've chronicled Shooty's entire journey. From him
We
being
have.
announced and claiming everyone thinking he was the 14th Doctor. Well, look where that went.
And I said Nkudi.
You did. Thankfully not on
Yeah,
Who's There, so you got that to defend
pronounced
you.
his name wrong. Yeah,
You said it
true,
on your
true, I didn't do
favourite
that.
channel where you said, David Tennant's not coming back, and it's
He's
the
not coming
Broadchurch
back at
girl.
all.
That's
Yeah.
my unholy trinity of crispy content. It's the Broadchurch
Yeah.
girl. I don't believe David Tennant is coming back, and Nkuti.
Nkuti.
That's my
Yeah.
unholy trinity for you.
Sorry, Shooty. Sorry, Shoots.
Ladies and gentlemen,
My
we will
bad.
see you all next week in episode 161, where we'll talk about one of the several things I just listed off with Doctor. There's plenty to talk about. Who knows what order we'll go in. Crispy will probably come up with a plan. He's good with that. So we'll see you all next week. Until then, keep an eye out on our socials for when we ask for the next call out. It probably won't be long until we do. But it's goodbye from Crispy,
Goodbye
and it's goodbye from me. It has been an absolute joy.
to the world.
Literally saying that, I've got a lump in my throat. Why did I do that? See you all next week.
Let's end
Alan Z, baby.
Alan Z, baby!
And that's a wrap. That's a
Wow.
wrap.
What an episode.
And
What an episode, everyone.
recording stopped. There we go. That's a 2-hour
Crikey
episode.
Moses.
I can't wait to see how long it takes to edit and upload to Anchor, or render and upload to Anchor. Whew! It's not even
Ay,
called
ay,
Anchor
ay.
anymore. It's just Spotify for
Ay, ay,
podcasters,
ay.
but Anchor sounds cool.
Oh, Troy, I gotta go to bed, man.
Go to bed, boy. Go to bed.
I
And
absolutely
before the
buggered.
chat says, I'm not doing Hoodle tonight. I'm too tired and I'm too sad.
No,
I'll chat to you a
no
little bit
Hoodle
longer.
for this boy. No Hoodle.
No Hoodle. No Hoodle.
Get him.
Thank
go,
you for being
go
here,
to
buddy.
bed.
You get a great night's sleep.
No,
and
thank you.
Hit me up whenever, and we'll
I
plan
will
our
text
stuff.
you in the next couple hours.
Pleasure.
You'll probably be asleep.
Take care, boss.
Thank you, and thank you everyone in the chat. Today was a fun episode.
Bye.
Goodbye. Do I just hang up?
Yeah, I'm just going to the solo screen in case when you go, the calls pop up with emails again. So we're all good.
Okay.
Oh my god, someone followed and it was really loud. That hurt my ears. I've just muted it. And he's gone. Yeah, she wants to go onto any screen that had my camera on it, which is, wow, way more messy. This is a wider shot. Okay, whatever. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Really, really do appreciate it. It's been a blast. I'm so upset about Shooty, man. I can't even. So, thank you all for hanging out. I really appreciate it. If you have enjoyed the podcast, please do give it a subscribe. Thanks to everyone who donated during the podcast. That was great. And for all of you who voted, called in, it means the world. I know a lot of you have called in over the last season and we haven't got to your calls. That to me is just a great sign that everyone's enjoying the podcast and interacting with it well. That means a lot. It's a great situation to be in where we have more calls than we can handle. It's better that than not having enough calls and going, I wish more people called in. So know that we appreciate and love every single one of you, and it really means the world that you all support us as much as you do, especially during Doctor Who season. And as Crispy said, I don't really like to think about it. I don't like to think about the idea that, oh, we have to wait longer for more Who. Right now in my brain, I'm not even going there. But like these moments, like these chunks of episodes, they don't happen all the time, especially on a podcast that's weekly. So these kind of seasons are really important to us, where we have a lot to talk about. And the fact that you guys turn up again and again and again for them really does mean the world to us. So thank you so much for that. I am going to go and probably cry a bit more and get some sleep. Probably cry a bit more while sleeping. Wake up, maybe cry a bit more again. Watch the episode. Maybe cry a little bit more then. And maybe play a few video games with my friends. And cry again. There's going to be a bit of crying throughout, I feel like. But yeah, I appreciate you all. Really, really do. And I see Mr. Scarlett suggesting an RTD2 episode tier list. Suggest any of that stuff in the Discord. So actually, the last thing is a link to the Discord. Let me provide you with that now. I need to make a link because I don't know when the last time I made one was. We want it to never expire. Generate a new link. Copy. And it is in the YouTube live chat now. So go join the Discord. And go talk to me over there. Crispy's not in there much, but I'm in there a fair bit. I check every now and again. Usually I try to check once a day. But yeah, thank you to everyone who showed up, especially old people, like seeing people like Minusich calling in. It's been in it since the start. The one-time lady who was a big commenter in the olden days and disappeared for a bit and is back. That's lovely. And people who've just been here throughout and popping up later, whoever you are, how much you've watched, how little you've watched, we really do appreciate it. And also, 163 of you stayed to hear me say that. That's nice. Thank you. I'm not even the Doctor Who YouTuber. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you all endlessly, as does Crispy, although he's already off trying to catch Zeds. So here comes the outro sequence. We'll see you all next week, back at the usual Tuesday morning for uploads for everything. But the audio version of this, like I said, will go out on Tuesday mornings. If you want to hear it as an audio version, the 2 hours again, you want to support us, feel free to go listen over there or play it, or tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your baby that you pointed to a street sign to name. Tell anyone you want. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all soon. Here's the outro. I hope it works. It's gonna work. Much love. Thank you.